timing. And as public relations people, we are very particular about timing. So we are going to get right to our summit. Hello, everyone. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining in very early. We appreciate you and we are grateful to have you. And we believe and we know that you're going to have an amazing time today. And you will definitely be learning more than one or two things. So thank you for joining. To everyone on the call, you can just drop us a message. Where are you joining from? Are you joining from Lagos, Nigeria, Ibadan? Are you joining from Delta? Just tell us in the chat where you're joining from, your name and where you're joining from. Thank you all. So we'll just get right started. My name is Stella Okosipoji, and I work as the programs and membership executive for Nigeria Women in Public Relations. On this call, I have my colleague Ayomide Oyetunde and Ifeoluwa Fatuki. If you want to say hi.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Ifeoluwa. Thank you for joining in today.
All right, thank you, Ife. Just a quick background about Nigeria Women in Public Relations. So Nigeria Women in Public Relations is a not-for-profit organization set up to platform, amplify, and provide resources for the growth of PR professionals. So when you put women, yes, women is our core focus, but we're also invested in youth. And through the Public Relations Student Summit is one of the way we invest in our youth, because we believe that public relations is a very promising and a very thriving career. It's a career that when you start, you know that there's growth, there's progress, financially, career-wise, there are endless possibilities. So we are bringing the Public Relations Student Summit to you to know that even if you did not study public relations, you can start a career in public relations and do exceedingly well. And the unique part of it is that you do not have to wait till you graduate to start figuring out, where do I start from, what do I do. Even from school, you can start learning, start building your portfolio. So if you want to start writing, if you want to start creating strategy, if you want to start creating affairs, if you're talking about policies, corporate affairs, you're not too young to start. And look at it this way, it's very unique. Just imagine that you've already started your career, you've started building your track record, and someone that is just graduating, that is trying to find their foot. There's a lot of difference, and it puts you on a different pedestal career-wise. So that is why we are hosting the Peer STEM Summit, to introduce you to public relations, to tell you that yes, wherever you are, whatever time you are in your career, start public relations and do exceedingly well. Thank you all very much. I see people joining from Kwara, from Lagos, I see you. So we are going to move on to the next thing on our agenda for today. We are going to call on Miss Rita to talk about the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. So just like every profession, you must be a member of the professional body to actively practice. So yes, you say I want to do public relations. It's important and it's mandatory for you to be part of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And Miss Rita will tell us how you're going to get started as a student, as a young professional, how to become a member and actively participate as a member of the Institute. So Miss Rita, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and good morning, Stella, once again. Good morning, students, communication students, and public relations students. I'm excited for this program and initiative put together by the Nigerian Women in Public Relations. It's a great initiative to obviously catch them young, and we're excited to have you as part of practicing professionals much later in the coming years. with the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. So, I mean, without much ado, I'm going to dive into our conversations today, which will be on the pathway to membership and professional guidelines governing public relations practices in Nigeria. So, in order not to distract you so much with my parents, I'm going to go off the camera for a few seconds so that I can run through the slides that I have. Is that okay? Can I go ahead, Stella?
Okay. Yes, you can also share your slides if that's okay by you.
Yes, I would have loved to do that, but I'm using my phone because I have a slight issue with my system. Opening the presentation slides on Microsoft, I can't access my Microsoft handle directly on my system, so I've had to use my system to do presentation. So sorry about that. I could share the slides later if that's okay by you.
Yeah, that's fine. You can go on. Thank you.
All right. So we'll be running through what about NIPR? That's the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. What's the story? The Institute of Public Relations was established in 1963 as a non-governmental, not-for-profit professional body of the qualified public relations practitioners, chartered by the Decree 16 of June 1990, which is now an act of the federal government of Nigeria to regulate the practice and direct the development of public relations as a profession in Nigeria. Now, there's a law that makes it illegal to practice public relations after you graduate in any form without being certified by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. We have a bylaw that governs the chapters and the Institute of Public Relations as a whole. That was adopted in 2024 at the annual general meeting, AGM, in Abeokuta. And a copy of this bylaw obviously can be found on the website, niprng.org.ng. That's the official NIPR website. And obviously a copy of the bylaw is always issued to inducted members of the Institute. I am the Assistant Secretary of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations Lagos Chapter and ICT Officer. So I'll be talking a bit, I'll be a bit biased. I'll be speaking a little about the chapter, Lagos chapter, and I'll also talk about the national body. So the Lagos chapter is the premier chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. It accounts for nearly 50% of the public relations practitioners in Nigeria. However, the national body, being the center of policy initiative, NIPR's 22-member governing council, led by the president and chairman of council, Dr. Ike Neliako, directs the affairs of the institute, and he manages NIPR businesses through the chapter committees and the national secretariat in Federal Capital Territory. Now, why should you be a member? Membership of the institute represents a statement that you, as an holder, is a qualified professional practitioner in public relations, one that subscribes to the code of ethics of the profession standard, which can be found on the website. You're expected to act professionally, conduct yourself professionally in proper regard to the public interest of everyone and of Nigeria as a whole. There are opportunities. If you become a member, there are obviously opportunities for continuous learning that can help you grow professionally. And then you also have exposure to different areas of specialization in PR because of our wealth of expertise we have within the Institute. I would also say that there are several membership pathways. It begins from you as students. I want to believe that most of you are already members of the Institute as student members. And if you're not, I would ask for you to please go and join, or ask for how you can join within your institute, the NIPR, that's Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. We also have the graduate membership, associate, member, fellow, and honorary fellow. But for the purpose of this conversation, I'm only going to restrict our membership category to just the student membership, graduate, and associate, because I believe that for those of us who are aspirational, we'll be looking at those quick pathways which can be achieved within 7 years. Now, as a student membership is only open to all who at the time of applying are students students studying for any NIPR qualification or any of the below approved qualifications. What are the other approved qualifications? We're talking about those who have diploma in public relations with the institute itself, We're speaking of those who have diploma in communication studies and public relations with CAM Foundation certificate. We're also talking to those who have PR membership diploma from the British Institute, and those with BEEC, professional certificate and diploma in public relations or communications, and those who have BA, BSc, HND, MA, MSc, PhD in public relations or even in mass communication, or you have an MBA with major or specialization in public relations or any recognized equivalent qualification. I must say that membership do not last for more than 3 years, and this is student membership. It doesn't last for more than 3 years, and we don't issue out any certificate or designatory letter as a student member. Unless you graduate, then you become a graduate membership. Sorry, you become a graduate member. Well, obviously, you have to obtain, the form to become a graduate membership after graduation. Now, graduate category is available to persons having one or more of the approved qualification, which I had mentioned earlier, whether you have a BSc, you have a BA, MSc, or any other qualifications. It could be a master MBA, but a specialization in PR. So, but without necessary practical experience required for the associate grade, meaning that if you haven't had practical experience in the industry practicing public relations or communications, you cannot be considered as a graduate member. Now, as a graduate member, if you wish to upgrade to become an associate, having had, any of the two options of degrees that I had mentioned before, all you have to do is you must have been a graduate member for 2 years. You also must have taken 3 MCPDs. I'm going to explain that later, further down. And MCPDs are mandatory continuing professional development programs that we have within the Institute. So you should have taken 3 of that MCPDs during the 2-year period as a graduate member. And you must have been employed at the time of application for a minimum of 2 years in a recognized PR appointment or position within PR education before obtaining the upgrade form online on the NIPR official website. Only then can you upgrade from a graduate membership to an associate membership. So I stated earlier that I was going to explain what the MCPDs mean, which is the mandatory continuing professional development programs that we have at the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Now, MCPD is a policy statement by the Institute. It is designed to refresh and sharpen members' skills, giving practitioners a competitive edge in responding to industries' specific challenges. Now, we also have other membership category, which I mentioned earlier, which is the associate and the full membership. Remember, I said I was going to restrict our conversations to students, graduates, associates, and then I'm just going to talk just briefly on the full membership. So for an associate membership, I'm an associate member of the Institute. You're expected to have done 3 MCPDs, which I'd explained before. That's the mandatory continuing professional development programs within 5 years. So you have to have spent 5 years as an associate member before upgrading to becoming a full member of the Institute. And obviously, as a full member of the Institute, before you can attain fellowship, which is the highest level of membership with the Institute, you need to have spent 10 years of full membership, and then you would have to prepare a fellowship. You have to go through a fellowship screening and do a paper presentation to the body before you're approved and become a full fellow of the Institute. Now, what are your responsibilities as a member of the Institute? You're expected to pay your dues promptly, attend chapter meetings and events or activities. You're expected to be as active as a member of the chapter and serve in various workshop, committee, and tasks as may be necessary. Obviously, for every institution and association, there are requisite requisite fees. We have the registration fees, which is 20,000 naira if you want to apply to become any of the member of the Institute. And we've got subscription fees that we pay annually. As a student, you pay 5,000 naira. If you upgrade to the next level, which is a graduate membership that comes with the title GNIPR, you have to pay 10,000 naira annually. And if you become an associate member way much later, you pay 20,000 annually. And this is not to say that there are no state chapter dues, because obviously, as a member of any chapter, you'll be expected to pay your chapter dues in addition to the annual dues from the national body. So that's about all that we have from the Nigerian Institute of NIPR. We'll be excited to have you, take your time, run through the website on your own. I will share this slide with Stella, who will share with you much later. You could run through the website on your own to check out more information. You could also follow us on our social media platform. For the national, it's NIPR official. For Lagos, it is Lagos NIPR. And we also have other handles, because I know that students are more active and interactive on other social media handles like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can also find us there as NIPR official or Lagos NIPR. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. If you have questions, you can drop on the chat. Rita, you can also share your number on the chat. So if they have questions regarding membership, they can reach out to you. I think that's fine, right? You can just drop your number. So if there's any inquiries, if they want to be members, then members or young professionals category, they can just reach out to you. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing. I also have one question for you. For someone that did not study mass communication, that wants to become a member and does not want to do the executive class, how can the person become a member? You're mute. You're muted.
All right. So for someone like I've just described, if the person has been practicing for a while, right, you would have to, fill up your application on the NIPR official website, and they will advise from there, because the site is quite very interactive. So once you fill up the qualifications you have and your experiences, they will look at it and decide if you would have to go through the master classes, or there's some other options there. But if you didn't, you don't have requisite experience, and like it's rightly said, you also haven't studied any of the communication courses on any related course, to communication and public relations, it's almost as good as impossible. You may have to run through the masterclass or take any of their diploma classes. It depends on what national recommends, actually.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for coming to speak to our attendees. We're really grateful. So we want to give a special shout out to our technical partner, Tech4Dev. We're really grateful. We believe that more people are joining in, more people are going to join, because we had a lot of registration, and for us to have a seamless and very interactive section, our technical partner is actively doing this for us. So Tech4Dev, thank you so much. We're grateful, and thank you for starting the meeting on time and for being so on point. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are grateful. Yeah, we are going to today's business, and I'm going to introduce our first speaker. So grab your notepad and get ready for a very interactive session. So for our first speaker for today, we have Oyin-Nwafor. Oyin-Nwafor is a marketing, communications, and public relations professional with over 3 years of experience. She brings a well-rounded approach to enhancing brand reputation and deepening audience connection across diverse markets. She currently serves as the Communications and Media Associate at Monida Invest Africa, where she drives strategic marketing communication that amplifies the organization's mission to finance Africa's critical SMEs across the energy, agriculture, minerals, and infrastructure sectors, advancing sustainable economic growth across the continent. She previously worked at Red Media Africa, where she led impactful PR campaigns for brands such as Reckitt, Paramount Africa, MTV, Staying Alive Foundation, Ferrous, Tiger Beer, and so many outstanding and international brands, earning national recognition through multiple industry awards. She has managed cross-functional communication projects spanning brand and communications social impact campaigns, influencer marketing, and crisis management. Our efforts have consistently delivered measurable reach, engagement, and reputation growth across Nigeria and African markets. We are very honored, very excited, very thrilled to have you, Oyi, join us. I'm passing the mic to you. So do your thing. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Stella, it's an honor to be here, and I'm very glad that, we're having this type of conversation, this type of summit, equipping young aspirants in the public relations industry, who want to take up that career, what they're meant to know, what they're not meant to know, and the likes. So I'm going to be sharing my screen just now for my session. So just give me a bit. Okay. Here. Okay. That you can see my screen. Hi, Stella.
It's loading. I can't see it yet.
Okay. Great. So by now, I believe it's showing already.
Yes, it is. The
Right, so
Foundation
today
of
we're going to
Public
be
Relations.
Great.
Yes.
So today I'm going to be taking us on the foundation of public relations, understanding what the profession is and how it is relevant today. So through the course of this session, as I mentioned, we'll understand what PR is, what it's not, and why it is relevant in today's landscape. And then also learn about the skills and, the realities, the mindset that you need to have when you want to start this career. And it's also discover practical ways to build your credibility, your confidence, and how to build your relationships, because relationships is very, very essential in this industry. And then next, we're also going to look at the tools, including AI, how it can enhance your work, how it can make your work more efficient. And then after that, we're going to get a clear roadmap for beginning and growing your practice as a PR professional. So, everybody says PR. What is PR? You see somebody who has about 5K followers on Twitter and you see in their bio, oh, I do PR. Well, in essence, what they're actually doing is publicity and not PR. So what is PR? According to the Institute of Public Relations, USA, they define public relations as the deliberate, planned, and sustained efforts to establish and maintain mutual understanding between an organization and its publics. So in essence, what PR is that PR is that bridge, that is built between a brand, be it a concept, an organization, and their publics. And by publics, I mean your target audience. In PR, I'm pretty sure people who are already, who are students of mass communication, who have PR as their major, you hear, the word stakeholders, your stakeholders. And now in PR, your stakeholders are people or groups, who are affected by your organization. They care about your organization, and they are also influenced by an organization. So in PR, your stakeholders are divided into two. You have your internal stakeholders, and then you have your external stakeholders. So your stakeholders are media people, they're your customers, the general public, your employees in cases where you're doing maybe corporate communications, that's corporate comms. So public relations is not advertising. Some people tend to mistake public relations for advertising, but it is not. As I mentioned, it's the deliberate effort that you need to put into creating a good understanding, a good relationship between an organization and your stakeholders. It's a way where you're building trust. PR is not instant. When sometimes that's where you see some clients, they tell you, oh, I want to run PR for this particular event. PR is not event building. It is not. While PR or maybe event building might be a tactic for it, it is just it is within a much bigger PR strategy. And as I mentioned, it is not instant. There needs to be a long-term deliberate planning. It's more like you're nurturing somebody, you're nurturing a plant, growing it, and then you're sustaining it in the long run. So PR helps with image management, where, in shaping an organization's image, how you want your organization or your brand to be seen, involves you crafting the right narratives and the value that you can bring in for that organization. Public relations is not a one-way thing. As an organization, you cannot be saying you are doing public relations and you are just talking. You're not listening to what your stakeholders are saying. You're not trying to create that relationship. But public relations is there. Your job as a PR professional or getting into that industry is to guide and protect that image. And then when it also comes to the part of this information dissemination, PR, you're delivering accurate and relevant materials between, your organization and your public. So this can be done through press releases, media interviews, thought leadership articles, and social media content, official statements. So your role as a PR professional is going to be to ensure that people are getting the right message at the right time and in the right way. Because say, for instance, you have an organization and your brand is like, say, a male-focused brand, and you're saying something about maybe men empowerment and it's International Women's Day. I mean, that's going to come off wrong because while you're saying the right message, it's also at the wrong time. So you also need to be able to read the room. You need to listen. And then when it comes to the part of, reputation enhancements, so beyond the visibility that you're going to be doing for your organization, PR helps to build that long-term trust, as I mentioned. So you're doing this long-term trust, you're, establishing achievements, you're showcasing the impact that you're doing. And that's why it's also very important that organizations should do, corporate social responsibilities. This way, the company is being able to give back to the community, being able to support the community as a way of, helping the community aside from just, making whatever thing they want to make from them. So your job is to ensure that whatever you're saying is credible, it is responsible, and it is valuable. And then the next one is building relationships. So as the name implies, public relations. Relations are very, very essential in this industry. You cannot say you're doing public relations and you're not able to relate with people. So you're going to be relating with media. You'll be relating with communities if you're doing community relations. You'll be relating with clients if you're doing client relations. You'll be relating with customers, customer and consumer relations. So it's about creating that mutual understanding and fostering long-term partnerships that supports your organization, your brand, the person you're working with, or a concept, and ensuring that it ties into the overall, business goals, the mission, the value of that brand organization, right? So the next one I'm going to be speaking on is why is PR important today and why does it matter? So we also need to understand that right now there's so much information. The current communication landscape is very, very noisy. There's so much information. And how are you able to stand out? How are you able to stand out? So right now, people are not just buying products, they are buying your stories. They are buying your values. They are buying your credibility. How does your story resonate with them? PR is what helps to shape that. And then there's the other part where trust comes in. So trust has become a very, very essential, let's say, currency, right? It is very essential. So the work of PR is that it helps to build it and it helps to protect it. Now, say for instance, I mean, we all know that there was this situation that happened last year between a tomato brand, I'm not going to mention the name, and then the one where, the customer or consumer, came to give a review of the product. We saw how things escalated and it was not good. It contributed to, negative sentiments for the brand, right? So the job of PR in that moment is to ensure that they are being able to quell that fire. They are being able to manage it. Had it been the brand had responded in a different manner, they might not have gotten so much backlash. I mean, social media was wild. Everybody was talking, running commentaries, right? Until today, we know what the story is. If you're not aware of it, I think you should go and you should be aware about it, right? So in this competitive world, storytelling and reputation management is very important. It makes you to stand out. And it also helps an organization to stay human, to stay transparent, and to stay connected, ensuring that you're driving that long-term relationships. So in PR, you want to enter PR, right? You want to enter the career path in PR. I would always advise that while you might be able to have a track or an area of specialization, you should have knowledge of every other one, at least even if it's the foundational knowledge. You want to be able to be a well-rounded, PR professional. So I would say first off is corporate communications. So for corporate communications is where you manage an organization's reputation, you do their communications for them, both to the internal stakeholders and then to the external stakeholders, right? So the possible career, roles you can have from that is a corporate communications officer, an internal communications person. You see some organizations now, they're looking for internal communications people, not just, external, just need them to do all the internal communications that need to be done for that organization. So there are people who are specialized in that. You also have CSR and environmental social governance communication. Then the next one is government and public relations. So here you're basically doing PR for public offices. You're doing it for politicians. You're doing it for ministries. Take, for example, when it's time for maybe like an election period, right? You see aspirants, they already started their communication well before the election period. They are driving that relationship, that understanding, right? They are creating a relationship between the political aspirants and the people who are going to be voting, that's the citizens, right? They're trying to create that form of understanding, that relationship. And that's what your job as a PR person for government and public affairs is. So the next I'm going to be speaking on is media relations. So media relations, this particular one is a skill that every PR person should actually have, because you are going to need PR and media persons, you're going to need press persons across, along all through your journey as a PR person, as a communications person. You are going to need them because they're also the life wire of what you do as a PR person. So these type of people, they specialize in media strategy. They do, press coordination. When it's time to give an official statement, you see them. When it's time to give an official statement, you see them, they come out, they reach out to different media houses. Oh, I have a press statement to give. Can you please make yourself available? So they come. And these media relations people, they are also, another skill you need to also have as a media relations person is that you should also know how to monitor the media. You should know how to listen to what people are saying about your organization. Listen to what people are saying about your brand. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it neutral? And then when you see all of this information, when you get all of this data, how can you translate it into something that is meaningful, into something that is valuable for your organization or for your brand? So here, the possible roles you can have is being a media relations specialist or being a media intelligence analyst. Now, the next one is entertainment, culture, and talent PR. So for this one, you're really going to be an outsider. If you're not an outsider, you might find it difficult in doing this particular PR path, because you're managing with artists. Artists are outsiders, they're performers. You're managing with actors. You're doing this for, festivals and cultural brands. So take, for example, I know a lot of us are familiar with Maven Records. So whenever Maven wants to announce an artist, you will notice that there is a deliberate strategy that they have put in place in announcing that artist, and everybody's attention is up. Oh, who is the artist that's going to be on the field? I can't wait to see it. And then you're just waiting. You're waiting to see who the artist is. So here you're going to be a talent or PR manager, an events manager, a publicist lead, and the likes. Then the next one I want to speak about is crisis communication and reputation risk. So in this part, these people are well experienced. They are specialists. They are people who manage crisis situations. I already spoke about the tomato brand, previously. So a well-rounded crisis communicator, right, would have known that, okay, if we go this route, what is the possible backlash that we'll get, from them? So now as a PR person, you see people who are doing crisis management, they come alive when there is a crisis. Maybe you say like, oh, don't worry, let's not fret so much. This is what we're going to do. This is the step that you're meant to take. Nobody should talk to media. Only the stakeholders, that's like key people from the brand should speak to media, or you go through the media relations person. That's it. So everything for crisis communication, because it is very delicate, it's only advisable that well-experienced people handle it. And that's why sometimes when there's a crisis situation, you see organizations, some of them, they tend to reach out to agencies. As a matter of fact, they reach out to agencies to, oh, please, we're having this issue. We need you people to come in to help us manage this narrative, to quell this fire that is happening. So in this role, in this career path, you have the opportunity to be a crisis manager, to be an issue and risk communications analyst or reputation strategist. So the next one I want to speak about is on agency PR. So this agency PR, you're practically going to work across every other career path, because you're going to be working across multiple clients in different sectors. So your role is going to be, you're an account manager, you're a client relations person, you're a PR executive, and that's the possible growth for your career path as a PR person. Now, the next I'm going to be speaking on is the entry realities, what you're going to be expecting, and advices I'm going to be giving. So first off, start off in an agency. Agency life is your best training ground. I know some people, maybe you've spoken with a couple of friends that, oh, how is agency? They will agency life. They tell you, oh, agency life is stressful, this and that, you will not rest. But it is very, very essential when you want to start your career as a PR person. It is very essential, even for any marketing communications career. Start off in an agency, right? Because it gives you experience. You're exposed to multiple industries. You're exposed to multiple clients. You have to work on different campaigns, finance sector, FMCG, corporates. It makes you grow. It's an excellent capacity and career and excellent capacity and character builder. So it makes you, it forges you for what's to come ahead. Because I know there are some of us that, after agency, they probably already set a target that, okay, I'm going to do agency for 2 to 3 years, and the next I need to see myself on the client side. So start off in an agency. When you've started in an agency, things come a bit more easier when you go into the client side, because you are very well grounded. Your skills are grown, your skills are harnessed, how to relate with people, your content creation skills are improved, how you research, how you think, how you even manage people, it's improved. So for agency life, it can be hectic, but as I mentioned, it's an excellent character and capacity builder. Work across multiple clients, different industries, you have tight deadlines, creative environment. I mean, you might be thinking that you're creative, and then you see somebody else, oh my God, your idea is so fantastic. It makes you think. You see like-minded individuals, people who are young, who are yearning to be creative. They want to do things without limitations, right? So that is the best place you want to start your career in. So for me, I started my career in Bread Media Africa, as Stella had mentioned, and honestly, I have zero regrets. It was a very, very fantastic place for me to, grow into where I am today at the moment. And these are some of the other agencies I can tell you to look out from. So there is BHM, there is Media Panache, there's Quadrant MSL, there is Brooks and Blake, there is Soul PR, there's Without a Box. Apologies about that. And then for the ones that are more entertainment and culture inclined, we have We Talk Sound and KBLC. So your very, very first tip I'm going to be giving you is relationship building. This is your most valuable skill as a PR professional. As I mentioned, if you feel like you don't like relating with people, you don't like doing it at all, even if you don't like doing it at all, you just have to do it. You need to do it because it is a very essential part for your work. You need to know how to connect with people. You need to know how to treat them, how to consistently show up, how you consistently show up, because the truth is you can be excellent at your work, and without the right relationships that you need to, the right relationships that you need to establish, your work is going to struggle. So you're relating with media, you're relating with stakeholders, you're relating with a lot of people. And while you're doing that, you need to be respectful. You need to still be professional. I remember there was a time, among the first tasks I was given when I joined Bread Media Africa, it was focused on media relations. And I was told to reach out to a couple of media persons, that's pressmen, if they were going to be interested in interviewing, a particular talent. And I did that. I, was professional about it. But there was one where I made an error. I was given the name. Oh, I saw, okay, this person is reporting from this particular media house. And I called and I was like, oh, hello, John. Let's just assume the person's name is John. Hello, John. And immediately I got this very serious eye from my boss then that, what are you doing? And in that moment, I panicked because I'm new. Oh my God, what mistake have I done? What mistake have I made? And I just ended the call. I didn't even wait to do any back and forth with my boss. I just ended the call like, okay, what is it? And then she told me to drop my phone. And then she taught me that, okay, you've been given this person's contact. You don't know who they are. It is ideal that I mean, we're living in Africa, and we know that respect is it's a very important thing, right? So just speak to them. Oh, hello, Mr. John. Because at the end of the day, they've heard you. Okay, they know that, okay, your name is Onyinye, you're very new, and then they eventually see me in person. And I'm seeing this person is it's an elderly man, and then they're seeing me, a Smalley, and I'm calling you by your name directly. Hello, John. Or no, you shouldn't do that. So try to create very good relationships with them. And I am not saying that everybody should be oh, good morning, sir. Oh, good morning, ma. No, there are some people that you still have cordial relationships with. So do that. Now, let me also give you another reason why relationships building is very important in this career path, because pressmen, they have a lot of people who are pitching to them. They have a lot of people who wants them, who wants them to be placed on their editorial spaces, right? And the likes. How are you able to make yourself different? How are you able to single yourself out? Your pitch might be fantastic, brilliant, and so as other many people. But if you have a fantastic relationship with this particular pressman, they're able to say, okay, this is because of our relationship. I'm going to do this for you. And then you also are able to, get your task checked. So it's easier. So create a good relationship with them. It is a very, very valuable skill. And this is not just for pressmen alone. This is for influencers. This is for your colleagues and all the stakeholders that you're going to be engaging with. Now, I'll be speaking on the tips on how to start your career in PR. So the first of is to intern early. Don't wait until you have finished your 400 level and you're waiting for your NYSC placements. No, don't do that to yourself, because the industry is very dense. It is very competitive. There are a lot of people who are coming into the industry every day. So how do you stand out? Say, for example, you're trying to intern in a particular place and you have zero knowledge, right? There's some people who are saying, okay, they're NYSC people and they've gotten experience from maybe like volunteering communities in their schools. They volunteered for communication roles in school, in the association. They already have some form of experience. It might not be fantastic or great, but they already have that form of experience. So already they're already at an advantage above you. So how are you able to position yourself in a way that will show that, okay, I am better than this person? I mean, it's only if you're able to speak very well and, the HR person or the hiring person gets to understand that, okay, this person is going to be very valuable. So it's very important that you have at least a bit of experience. Don't wait until it's your NYSC and then you're now waiting, you're not trying to start from the start. No, don't do that. The next is, study brand campaigns, study local ones, study global ones. Research, sometimes when a campaign is put out, you see the brand manager or the CEO of that company speaking about the reason why this campaign was launched. Get those insights, get that information, and see how, okay, you are saying this, look at the tactics they took. This is what they are doing for this campaign. Another fantastic one you can look at are global campaigns as well. Look at global campaigns and try to think about how you can localize it for, let's say, like a Nigerian market, for example, or a Kenyan market. How can you localize it in a way that will be good? So when you do these things, you're tasking your brain to take very, very good actions that is going to be needed for your career path as you progress. It doesn't need to be so in-depth or anything. Just take note of the things that they do. Then the next one is identify with agencies. I already spoke about that. Then next is leverage LinkedIn. I know quite some people might not be a fan of LinkedIn. I'm not really a fan of it, but I mean, it's okay, Sha. It's welcoming. I mean, you're able to connect with so many people. You're able to read stories. You're able to read thought leaderships and opinion pieces. So it's a very good place to grow your craft and to also build your online presence. So connect with people. As I mentioned, you cannot be doing public relations without relating with people. So you have to connect with people. Enter their DMs. You're a young professional. If you see anybody that is doing fantastic work, reach out to them. Tell them, oh, I love what you're doing. Can you please mentor me? That type of thing. Don't be shy to ask questions. Take, for example, you've been brought into a company as an intern and you've been assigned a task to do. And you're just, maybe you didn't get proper clarity on what the task is. And then you don't ask questions. You just go about your day and say, okay, eventually I'll figure it out somehow. 5 hours have passed. You've not gotten it. you're still thinking, 5 hours have passed, how am I going to reach out to my boss to tell him I don't understand this thing that they told me to do? You will look funny. Okay, when they now ask you, where is the task? Where is the work that I told you to do? And you cannot show it because you did not understand what they told you to do. So that's not a good outlook. If you're not sure about something, ask. Even if you've gotten the brief clearly, reach out to other senior colleagues that you know that can guide you. Request for their assistance and they will help you, right? So the next one is, mistakes to avoid when you're starting out in PR, not building relationships. I think I already spoke about why it is important to do this. Waiting too long to apply for internships. You don't want to be in that position because the industry is very, very, very competitive. So don't stay too long. And then if you're a PR professional, you say you don't like writing, I'm sorry. You have to rethink again. You have to start growing your skills as a writer. I mean, it's good that we already have some AI tools that provide this, but then you still need to know how to write. You need to know how to position your stories, how, to do the inverted pyramid format, what is most important and what is least important. You still need to have the writing skills. It is very, very important. And then don't ignore industry trends. PR is ever evolving. How PR was done, say, in the 1950s is very different from how it is being done now. In the 1950s, maybe you didn't have influencers, but right now we have influencer marketing, we have influencer communications, we have UGC, right? So always learn. And that's why I say, research on brand campaigns, check out new ones, check out old ones, see the tactics they did, learn it, it will help you. And again, don't take things personally. Feedback is part of the job. You will get different type of feedback. You get feedback that will make you feel good. You will get feedback that will make you question, oh my God, what am I even doing here? But it is part of the job. It is meant to develop you. So as a PR person, you need to be a critical thinker. You need to know how to analyze things. You need to know if a feedback is coming from a place of, I don't like you, so I'm just going to give you whatever. Or if it's somebody that is very passionate about, your growth, or passionate about the particular campaign that they are running. Say, for instance, you're on the agency side and you're running a campaign for a client and they're giving you this feedback. It's not your first instinct is not to say, oh no, this cannot work. Try to see, their reason for saying, okay, I want to bring this change. I want to make this feedback, right? See reason to it. And if it makes sense, adopt it. If it doesn't make sense, you can push back with the clients, right? And tell them, oh, I don't think this is going to work. So that is going to be very essential. Now, the one I want to talk about next is imposter syndrome, because I battled it when I was like about a year and a half into my career path. I knew I was doing good. But somewhere in my mind, I would keep on thinking, am I good enough? Am I pitching right? I see people, presenting. A particular person from an agency has presented so well. Is my presentation going to be good? Are the clients going to be impressed? Is it strong enough? If they ask me a question, can I answer it? And in reality, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. I'm getting my task completed. So it is very, very normal to feel imposter syndrome. However, what you should do is that you should not allow it to limit you. You should be able to overcome it. And how can you overcome it? You have to share your wins, celebrate your results, right? Talk about these things with your colleagues, talk about it with your friends, even your family. You will receive very, very positive feedback, very positive comments that will make you feel good and, make you see that, okay, yes, I'm doing this. It just, what will I say? It just buttresses the fact that you're doing a great job and it makes you feel better of yourself. And you also have to focus on constant learning. If you feel like you have learned so much and there is nothing new to learn, I am sorry, you are wrong. Just constantly learn, always learn. The moment you actually stop learning is the moment you die. So just constantly learn, keep on learning. As I mentioned, PR is ever evolving. There is a new tactic that will come up. Know about it, know how you can integrate it into a particular campaign that you want to run. Read wide, and again, document your progress. Don't say, oh, I'm going to wait until it's time for me to be retained in the company, or when it's time for my appraisal. Then you now try to start remembering, oh, what was this thing I did? What was this thing? No, you might forget very, very important ones. So no matter how small or big it is, document your win. So when you do all of these things, it helps to build your self-confidence. It helps you to know that, okay, yes, I am doing a great job at what I am doing, and, it makes you feel better of yourself. So I'm going to tell you about the actual imposters. So these imposters, I see them on LinkedIn. I've seen them in person. So these are people that, they talk about how, they drop hot takes about strategy. They drop hot takes about maybe like a crisis situation. They just like talking. They know all of the buzzwords, but they cannot actually execute a particular PR activity. It is a problem. So don't be that person. You can have imposter syndrome, but don't be an imposter. If not, you will be revealed. If you have a good boss, if you have a boss who is passionate about you, he will find out that, oh, you're an actual imposter, right? So in all you do, don't be that person. Ensure that whenever you're dropping think pieces as this, you actually know how to have such conversations in person, right? When you're dropping hot takes about a strategy, you should know how to say, okay, this is something I feel was not done right. You're able to prefer a solution to it, right? So, and this is why it's also very important that you should always, research, study campaigns, understand why they are doing it. So these will also help you to not be an imposter. Now it is AI. I mean, a lot of people, talk about AI. AI is going to take your job. AI is going to replace you. But I'm here to tell you that no, AI is not going to replace you. And, I'll explain that in the next slide. So to just give you a bit of statistics on why AI is here to stay, whether you like it or not. So according to Mosback, it's a PR platform. So it says about 75% of professionals use generative AI tools in their work. 82 use it for brainstorming, 72 use it for content drafting, 59 use it for research purposes. 78% of the particular population said that it boosts the quality of their work, and 93 says it speeds up their work. So if you notice all of the statistics that I've mentioned, all of them are well above average. So this is to just let you know that AI is here to stay. Nothing wrong can happen to it before you know that, oh, AI is no more working. I remember when I first got to experience AI, AI in person. I was at my former place of work at that time and with my colleagues. It was OpenAI that I got exposed to from the onset, not the popular one that we have, ChatGPT, Claude, and the likes. It was OpenAI. And then we prompted it and it was like, mad. What sort of sorcery is this? This is crazy. I think this was like maybe 2 years ago. And it was like, wow. And then we're like, okay, we've seen easier ways to do their work. I mean, I have a colleague of mine who mentioned that their boss will legit tell them that don't use AI, use your brain, use your brain. But I mean, now it is here. AI is here to enhance your work. It is here to make it more efficient. It's here to make you work faster, right? So it is here to stay. So the next thing I want to talk about is smart ways to use PR and smart ways to use AI in PR. As I mentioned, AI is not going to replace you. It is going to replace people who don't know how to use it. Say, for example, you've been given a task to do to write a press release, right? You are somebody that uses AI, say an AI tool, and then there's another person who says, oh, I don't want to use AI, I want to use my brain to do it. And you've been told to turn it in, immediately. Who is going to turn it in first? You have somebody who is using AI. They've already gotten all the information. They've prompted it, right? They've prompted the AI tool that they want to use. And within seconds, the first draft of the press release is sent. Meanwhile, you, on the other hand, you're there thinking, how am I going to arrange this? It would take time, right? It would take, and in a situation where you don't have the time to be so, I want to do this thing by myself with my brain, I don't want to involve AI in it. Somebody else who has done the work faster will tender it in. However, it's also important to know that AI is not going to do your work for you. It is only there to make your work, better. So it means that you as a PR professional, you also need to be able to think. You need to know how to write. You need to also have emotional intelligence. And with the right tools and trends, you're able to, brainstorm on ideas. You're able to analyze insights. You're able to generate a lot of things. So know how to use it. It's not here to make you say, oh, I'm not going to do it. If you just rely solely on AI and you're not trying to put your own, critical thinking or your own thinking into it, you'll see that you keep on tendering works that your boss is going to be asking you, what are you doing? This is not it. Make this better. You keep on receiving feedback to always improve. So you also need to know your skills. You also need to know how to be a PR person. So that's that on AI. And then these are some AI tools. that you can use. So there are AI tools and tech tools rather that you can use for your PR efforts. So for the one about media monitoring and intelligence, you have Meltwater, you have Talkworker, you have Session, a couple of them. There's also the one for content writing, the one that I'm sure a lot of us already know about, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and the likes. There are also visual design tools. I know people in creative, in visual, design and the likes, they already know some of these. And then audio ones are maybe you're having a meeting or you're having an interview and maybe you're not able to catch everything that is being said. You can introduce an AI into the meeting, and the AI tool is able to help you take notes, right? Help you to take notes about whatever is going to be discussed or whatever is being discussed in that moment rather. So the next is to build your own personal PR database and keep it updated regularly. Aside from the one your organization is going to have, it is very, very important for you to have your own personal one. This, you can do it in an Excel sheet because you're going to be needing media persons, you're going to be needing influencers, you're going to be needing a whole lot of people. As the name implies, public relations, you're going to be interfacing with so many people. So it's important for you to have your own database where you're storing the names of pressmen, you're storing their content, you're studying the platform they write for, you're putting out their emails, you're putting out their numbers, you're saving it because sometimes you might not even be able to remember their name and you just have to go to your Excel sheet. Okay, economic or brand or entertainment, and then you're able to see it. So how can you, build your own PR database? You can get them from maybe your colleagues. If you go for events that is not just organized by your organization, let's say it's a seminar or it's a whatever events, you meet with people, you interact with them, and they tell you, oh, I write for this particular platform, or I write for TechPoints. There and there, you're able to exchange your contacts. You save it and you add it into your own PR database. So you have to keep it updated regularly. And the same applies to influencers. If you're going to be working in an agency, you're going to be exposed to different industry, meaning that you're going to be running campaigns across different industries. So you need to know different influencers that are fit for that particular industry, right? Or whatever campaign it is that you want to run, because you're going to need it. You're going to always need your PR database. Another one I want to mention is that you might cry once or twice, because if you're starting off, even right now as someone who is experienced, I cry once or twice because I sometimes I feel overwhelmed. There's so much to do. I need to reach out to this person. I need to write this. I need to do this strategy, a whole lot of things. You might feel very overwhelmed, or you might get a feedback from your boss or a client and it's not a very positive one, right? But don't make you feel bad. And you might also cry because you're so impressed about how far you've grown. Oh, I just finished my very first task today and I got a very fantastic, feedback from my boss. Oh, it made me feel good, feeling so emotional. You might cry. So even if it's a negative feedback, even if you're crying for a sad reason, just ensure that it's not weighing you down. Also look about the positives. And that's why I say document your progress, document your wins, celebrate your wins, because it is very essential. You need to, assess yourself and say, okay, I did this, even though this negative feedback came in, I can, use it to improve myself, right? And so in conclusion, I know I've said a whole lot and I've probably taken my time, right? So public relations, in conclusion, just to put in a nutshell, everything I have said so far is that public relations is as much about strategy and skill as it is much about relationships and resilience. So you should start early, you should embrace learning, build your network, do not be afraid to put yourself out there. And as you're putting yourself out there, remember to not be an imposter. And I also want you to understand again that imposter feelings are normal. So you have to try your best to break free from it. AI is a tool, so use it to your advantage. Your database is your power. Your curiosity, consistency, and confidence will shape a career that is successful and meaningful. And I am looking forward to receiving or into welcoming, the next generation of PR experts. I can't wait to connect with all of you. So thank you. I hope you've been able to learn a one or two from this session. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was a really insightful session. Even me, I learned a lot. And one thing you said that struck me was building your own database. I would say from my own experience, I worked in an agency, and when you start your career, like you talk about media monitoring, building databases. So there were a lot of databases I built, but it was on the company's drive. So for example, now I now leave the job, maybe I want to do freelancing, and I just realized that I don't have those contacts anymore. Because while you build for the company, it is also important you build for yourself. I think that's one thing I take, and I believe every young person should do that. As you're working in an agency, you're building their database. It's also important that you build yours. Just as you're building the brand, you're also building your personal brand. Thank you very much, and thank you for sharing. And yes, yes, yes. A lot of professionals do not actually get to know the work, and they get to stage and own front that they know the work. That is being an imposter. But if you do not know, especially as you're starting your career, ask a lot of questions. Ask questions, ask questions. Let them say you're asking too much questions, but it gives you clarity and it makes you better. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Before we let you go, we have some questions for you.
Okay.
And yes, please, you will share your slide with us because we have a lot of people on the chat saying, please, Ma, share your slides with us. We'd love to have your slides.
Okay, I will. I'll drop. Okay, I think I'll share it with you. I think how do I go about that?
You
Okay,
can
I'll
share
just
the
share
link.
the view.
Yes,
I think
I'll
I'll
share
just
it. There's
drop
a
the link.
WhatsApp group
Okay,
with all the
fantastic,
attendees, so I'll share it there.
fantastic. All right,
Yes.
I'll share that with you after this meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. So someone asked, what are the skills? I believe you've talked about this, the various skills that you need to excel in public relations. Someone is asking, how do I find a niche when you are new to the field? And how do I get internship? So how do I find a field as a new person? And how do I get internship? We also have somebody's hands raised, but please take that question. And Shinasa will ask a question next. Please, Shinasa, get ready.
Okay, so how do you find a niche? So first off, I would say that I mean, for those who already have communication background, let's say people in mass communication, already you have your major that you're doing. So I know that that might come a bit more easier for them. Now, if you have no experience, when you're starting off in an agency, when they are running up, when you receive briefs, right, you see the one that excites you the most. Are you a political person? You're more inclined to doing public relations for government and governmental institutions? Are you somebody who thrives on creativity? You're more in line with doing brand PR, let's say for an FMCG brand, right? Or you're somebody that you just always want to know, there is this issue that is happening, and then you're checking it, you're thinking that, no, this brand shouldn't have done this. This is a very wrong move. And then you see that, okay, you're more inclined to the crisis management angle. And that is, however, I would say that in as much as you want to have a niche that you're specializing in, it is also very important for you to have knowledge about the other area of specializations, because you will always need it, right? So just look at what strikes your attention, what you are more passionate about. That is how you're able to know what your niche is. So maybe when a brief comes in and you see that, oh, you have so many ideas coming into your brain, so those ones are the ones that you see that, okay, yes, I'm more interested in doing this. So that way you're able to say, okay, I'm more of a corporate communications person. I'm more of an entertainment PR person, and the likes. So I hope I've been able to answer that question for you.
Thank you. So we have Shinasa, your hand is raised. You can unmute and ask your question.
All right, good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
All right, my name is Chinasa, and I am a bit new to the field of public relations because I got my first degree in mass communication, where I was taught about the basics of public relations. And I started practicing as a broadcaster, and I just felt like that field wasn't for me. So I decided to go for a postgraduate degree in mass communication to understand it more, right? So now I'm done with that. I now got a job to work as a public relations officer of a college, like a college of science, a mini university sort of. And then in my employment letter, they said brand management, crisis management, reputation management, media relations. Those are my responsibilities as a public relations officer. That's fine. I said I'm going to get more. I'm going to research more and also speak to those in the field so I can understand this role better. So when I resumed my duty, I discovered that my CEO was more of give me content. I want content. I was now working as a content creator, even when we have a content creator in this school. He was always emphasizing on give me indirect marketing kind of content. All the things I was doing there was more of content. When there are meetings, when there are board meetings, I am never invited for it, so I could even understand better. When I suggest CSR, because I listened to when the speaker was mentioning CSR as one of the most important strategies, they will never listen. I don't know. The man is not from the media background. He has more of he's a pharmacist, and the deputy CEO is like a business person. So they were not even related to the media background. So it sounded odd when I was even saying social media, I mean, content creator is a branch of PR, but it's not PR itself. And they were saying, no, I don't understand the job. That's it. So I felt frustrated for like 2 months because every day I come up with content, they say it's marketing, is a direct marketing. That I should come up with indirect marketing. And it kept confusing me. So I want to ask, anyway, with other circumstances, I had to leave the job. But I just want to ask, please, in this kind of scenario, what was I meant to do? What is now the role of a PR person? I've had you listing so many roles, but where did I get wrong? Is it like some Nigerian CEOs don't understand what PR is, or am I the one that was wrong in this whole process? Thank you. Sorry, I took so much time explaining myself.
No, that's fine. Okay.
That's
So
fine.
the thing, okay, so the thing is, hi Chinasa, I think I just even want to also mention to you that when I was studying mass communication in school, I schooled in Unilag, my first passion was to be in the broadcast space. But I mean, as I saw the reality, I knew that, okay, I needed to pivot into something else, right? So you didn't do anything wrong. Not everybody has an understanding of what public relations is. Not everybody understands the value that it brings. So your role, I understand that it might be difficult for you to show how valuable it is when you've not been given the opportunity to do it. So what you should do next time is your brand competitor, right? Try and see if they have done PR strategies or PR campaigns. Show your boss that this is what this particular brand did or competitor did, and it was PR driven, and these were the results that they were able to generate or to receive. People are saying that, okay, they are more receptive, people are understanding their brand better. Just try to show a comparative analysis. And in a situation where they don't do it, I'm very, very glad that you were bold enough to leave when it was very early. So you're not doing what you don't want to do. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be doing a job where you're not passionate or you don't like what you're doing. Every time it's seeming like, oh, I'm coming to work, I'm having headache, I don't want to be here. So I'm very glad that you're able to take that bold step to leave. So I hope that answers the question. Because again, even okay, now let me tell you something. When it comes to organizations, right? When it's time to cut budgets, the first point of contact, the first budget to cut is marketing budget. And PR budget is also inside marketing. So it means that PR will also suffer it. So because not everybody understands how valuable it is, it will always be a problem. And it is your own job to convince them that this is this. And if they're not buying it, we'll be looking at ourselves. If you're still looking at them and you're tired, you just leave and you find a better place. And I hope you found a better place that is more receptive to the ideas that you're giving, more, strategies and the like. I hope you've been able to get one like that.
Chinasa, hope we've been able to answer your question. Please, we have our next speaker in the next 1 minute. So please, Oyi, if you can just answer for us. She talks about internal and external communication. What does both of them mean, and what is the difference? Somebody wants to know, so we can go on to our next speaker. We'll take other questions. I see someone is raising there. We'll take other questions because we have two more speakers to come and share their insight and knowledge with you. So we're taking all of your questions. So shortly, go on, please. Thank you, Oyin.
Okay. Thank you. So internal communications and external communications. So say, for instance, you're working in an organization. Your internal communication, it's your communication where you're giving to your employees. you're giving to the employees of that organization, right? You're either communicating company-wide information to them, or you're telling them about developments of the company, or maybe right attitude to work, or something like that. It's you work in collaboration with the HR department as well as the marketing department. So you're informing your internal stakeholders about the organization's information, basically, or you're doing a campaign, or maybe HR wants to do a campaign on IWD, but it's an internal engagement. So how are you as an internal communications person able to collaborate with the HR person to bring out that event to life? You know, you're also going to be having to reach out to maybe speakers, stakeholders, and I say stakeholders, speakers, and the like, so that they can come in to, you know, have that internal engagement. And then for external communications, they are people outside of your organization.
Document tí ọ̀gá fẹ́ǹsì fún ti bọ́ sáà wọ́n ṣe mistake wọ́n ti lọ kọ date pé on 30 ló
So
máa close.
your external stakeholders are people who are outside of your organization or outside of the brand person that you're working with. So you are maybe liaising with what's it called, your customers, your consumers, media people, influencers. So those are external stakeholders or external communications. And you're also going to be doing your press release. So for instance, when you're drafting your press release is not for your internal people, even though they can be knowledgeable about it, it is for external consumption, right? You're doing a holding statement, it is for external consumption. So that's for internal and that's for external. I hope I was able to answer that question for you. Stella, you're muted.
Thank you so much to our speakers. Speaker Onyi, thank you. We are grateful. Thank you so much for your time. If there are other questions that they want to ask you specifically, I will send it to you via email. I also want to say hello to our other speakers. I see Nife on the call. I also see Damilala on the call. Thank you so much, Onyi. We are grateful. And we are moving on to our next speaker. Thank you so much. We're moving on to our next speaker. Nife, are you on the call? You can just say hello to us. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I really hope that you can hear me. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold, but yes, I hope everyone can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you, Nife. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us. So, Nife.
Anytime, I did for you.
Okay, thank you. Oluwanifesi Adefila is a dynamic public relations and communications professional, event host, and a speaker passionate about storytelling, leadership, and meaningful engagement. She currently serves as the PR analyst for Owando. She previously worked as an associate consultant at Black House Media, BHM, Nigeria's foremost PR and communications agency, where she led FMCG and lifestyle communications for top brands, including MTN, Nigeria Breweries, FCMB, Showmax, Eden Life, GB Foods, and so many great brands. Our expertise spans across corporate communications, stakeholder engagement, content strategy, and media relations, with a proven record of delivering high-impact campaigns that enhance brand reputation and visibility. She's a member of the Chartered Institute of Public Relations, that's CIPR UK, and a graduate of the University of Ilorin with a degree in counselor education. She combines strategic insight with empathy, creativity, and precision. Whether behind the mic or leading campaign, Nifesi brings energy, excellence, and authenticity, making every story she tells and every event she hosts truly unforgettable. So I can say yes, she's really energetic. She has energy. If you speak to Nife or you've seen her speak, there's a lot of energy. And yes, thank you so much, Nife. I'm passing the mic over to you. You have the stage. Please go on.
It does not need it now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stella. That was so kind. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm wondering where everyone is listening to. Sorry, I couldn't join from the beginning. Pardon my voice sometimes. I have a little bit of cold. I don't know, that person needs to be muted. Whoever that person is, kindly, everything is the one. Mute. Okay. I've done that. Great.
Okay, thank you.
I've muted him. So good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I'm not going to be introducing myself. Stella has done an amazing job of that. I'm very grateful for to Stella and the entire team at the Nigerian Women in PR for this opportunity. So PR is a profession that I stumbled upon, but now I have fallen in love with. So I'm very excited about the opportunity to speak to us about some of the core skill sets that you need if you want to venture into the profession of public relations, or you're already there and you need to build to grow. So I'm not introducing myself. I'm just going to go straight into it. These are some of the core skills that I think that every PR professional should have. First is strategy. Strategy. You need to be strategic in your thinking. And when I say strategy, I think I will go deep into it when I get to that slide. Strategy, very, very important. What do you want to do? How do you want to achieve it? What are the people you're talking to? When do you want to roll out this campaign? If you've properly defined your messaging, what is the best way to talk to these people? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? What are the things that you want to leverage to speak to them? Because like Onyeye has, I'm pretty sure Onyeye has touched on in our speaking, she told us what we do in public relations is that we're building narratives. We're talking about somebody. We're trying to educate people about whether it is a campaign, about a product, about an individual. True, because you could be doing public relations and communications for an individual. It could be a product. It could be a service. So what are you trying to communicate? Who are you trying to communicate to? What is the best way to talk to these people about what you're doing? And that is where your strategy comes in. Then we also have writing and content development. I think this is one of the biggest arm of public relations, because after you have defined your strategy and you have said, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to, you will come and write. Oh, we write a lot. Oh, we write a lot. Oh my God, we write a lot. So as a PR professional, I think one of the things that will actually help you with your writing is if you're a very voracious reader. If you're an avid reader, you will really know how to write. So what am I writing? Who am I writing to? What's the best way to speak to them? Or your content development, are you doing social media videos? Is it by memes that I'm going to use to connect with these people? What exactly am I going to do? Because content comes in various forms. Am I writing a press release? Am I writing am I developing, because I want to call all of them content right now. Am I developing a press release? Am I doing a white paper? Is it a case study that's the best thing that we're supposed to do? Are we supposed to do an opinion editorial? All of this is part of writing and content development, which are skills that you must learn, acquire, and master. Mastery is very important. Then the next part of it is media and stakeholder relations, because I promise you, one of the biggest things that you would do in public relations is you are the bridge between your brand, your client, whoever that is, and the media and the rest of their consumers. You are the bridge, you are that conduit. Think of a pipe that will bring out water, but the pipe is bringing water from maybe the tank, or bringing it down from maybe the reservoir, or bringing it down from the pumping machine. Wherever the pipe is, you are that pipe. You are that pipe. And think of the media as your tap. So I'm saying media relations because the media is even very vast. We're thinking of social media. We're thinking of traditional media, digital media. We're thinking of all of these media platforms. And you are their link. You are the pipe between what your customer wants to actually, what your client wants to actually see, and how they will receive it, and how the media will let it out. You are the one doing that major job, because it doesn't matter how beautiful, how great, how fantastic a product is, or how amazing a service is. If you're not able to communicate that thing in such a way that the people you want to reach will understand you, then what you have done is mute. It's very mute. Nobody will understand this. Nobody will buy your product. Every good and amazing product some of them have even died because they've not been able to communicate well. So your media, who are your stakeholders also? The stakeholders, I think I will go into that as well. Relationships is very, very, very important. And this is a big part, is a big skill that you must acquire if you're going to do well in public relations. Then we talk about digital competence. The world is now digital driven. The world is tech driven. And if you're not tech savvy, or if you're not willing to learn and grow, and I mean, AI is the new rave in town. Who knows, in about 20, 30 years, we're talking about a new kind of digital rave. You have to learn to continually grow and develop. In some 30 years ago, in the early 90s, when the internet just came out, for many of us in Nigeria, we were not very, very aware of these things. They had not gotten here. But by 2010, 2007, the internet became a thing. Facebook became a thing. Everybody was on Facebook. I mean, there was a time in 2013, 2010s, the media, one of the most popular social media platform was 2go, then BlackBerry, all of those things. But those things have changed, and it is constantly evolving, constantly changing. It is very dynamic. And as a PR professional, these are the places where you have to operate in every day, every moment. So you need to learn how to use those things and use them effectively so that you can get the kind of results that you want to achieve. And the other one is personal and professional presence. I think this is one particular skill that, because as PR professionals, most of the things that we do, they're usually behind the scenes. The only time we know that PR is even involved in many campaigns is when it fails. That's when, if something fails and the person has said something, who is their PR people? They do not even know how to do it well. I don't know how they will allow that man to come and say this kind of thing. Who published this thing? Who put it out? That's when they know that a PR professional is involved. But we like to be behind the scenes. But when a campaign is successful, many times they don't even give us credit. And many times we don't even talk about the things that we do. We are helping other people build their professional presence. We help them to do branding. We help them to come out but we don't do that for ourselves. And I think that this is one of the skills. It ought not to be so. So it's also one of the skills that as PR professionals, we must acquire. So let's get to each of these skills in detail. I hope you all are still with me. If you're still with me, give me your favorite emoji, a thumbs up or something. Let me just know that I'm not talking to myself. All right. So why do all of these skills matter? Everything that I've talked about. It matters because public relations, one of the things that we usually confuse public relations for is publicity. If anything is outside, the PR is mad, they're giving that thing mad PR, something. Have you seen the way Funke Akindele used to promote her music? It's mad PR. Everything is PR. Publicity is a part of PR, correct? But publicity is not all that we do in public relations. No. Public relations is about reputation building. It's about building credibility, and it's about strategic communication. That's what we do. We are about perception. How do people, when people think about you or think about your product, what comes to mind? When you think about Nike, what comes to mind? When you think about Adidas, I mean, for many of you, what comes to mind is just do it. When you think about Coke, I'm pretty sure what comes to mind is sharing happiness, sharing, because, share a Coke with me, share a Coke with Lola, share a Coke. Those are the kind of things that come to mind. When you think about your president, what comes to mind? When you think about Muhammad Ali, what comes to mind? So that is public relations. When you think about Jesus, what comes to mind? That is reputation. We are building reputation, perception of an individual, the narrative about a product, and we are maintaining that. That is what we do. So it's not just a one-time publicity thing that you do one time and it fades. No, the continuous perception of a product or a person in the mind of people is what we're doing in public relations. Credibility. That is, you think about this product and you're thinking of integrity, you're thinking of reliability. That's what we do in public relations. And strategic communication. There's nothing for many brands. I think Nike is one of the brands that I really love. I love how strategic they are in anything that they are doing, any of their campaigns. Go and look at it. Apple is also another brand that I really love how they communicate. Very strategic. They don't just do anything anyhow. I also love how Coca-Cola communicates. They don't just do anything anyhow. A personal person whose public relations arm I really love is Tony Elumelu. He doesn't just post anything anyhow. Very strategic. So now let's talk about writing and content development. Writing is the production engine of public relations. I sort of mentioned that. It's one of the things that we primarily do. You're always issuing out public press releases, this, and there are many things that we do. I couldn't really break them down here because of space.
It's open.
But some of the things that we write about, we write press releases, we write news stories, we write white papers, we write social media captions, we write thought leadership pieces, opinion editorials, features. We are always writing and writing and writing. I'm not even going to lie to you, and writing. We write blog posts. We are always writing. There's always one thing or another that we're churning out. And content development, because content has gone just beyond writing. It's now in video format. It's in memes. It's in animations. It's in pictures, photo news, photo stories, pictures. Like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we're always developing content. And that's this is like the engine. You have to be very great. And the core of this writing and content development is storytelling, which I'm going to go to in the next stuff. But what story are you trying to tell? And these are the most important things when it comes to content development. What story structure are you trying to tell? Is it going to be PR? Is it going to be a press release? Is it going to be a news content? You have a campaign that you want to do. How do you want to structure that campaign? What way are you going to communicate it? Are you developing a video? How long is that video going to be? Is it going to be a documentary? How are you going to write the script? Then whatever it is that you are going to develop, whatever content it is that you want to create, it has to be clear and it has to be accurate. It must never happen. And that's why, as public relations professionals, anything we write, we are always, you will like to research, my God, because it has to be accurate. You cannot afford to release or talk about anything that is not correct. You can't do that. Anything you're going to put out, because you're representing somebody, you're representing something, it has to be very correct. Accuracy is very important. We don't joke with it. It's it's crucial. Then platform-specific messaging. If I'm going to do a video, the way my video that will go on Twitter is not the same thing I'm going to put up on LinkedIn. It's not the same kind of video I'm going to put up on YouTube. You have to ensure that whatever, in fact, the kind of news story I'm probably going to write for Business Day will not take the same way I'm going to put it up on, on leadership. They're going to be different. There'll be a few tweaks here and there because you understand each platform. For example, Business Day is very business driven. For example, if you're putting stuff on TikTok, you know that the people that are on TikTok, it's a playful platform. Half the time, your background doesn't even have to be nice. It can be the worst place ever, but that you will just see the TikTok video racking up numbers. Put up that same video on Instagram, my dear. People will just look at it because Instagram people, they really love aesthetics. If it is really not fine, if angles are not nice, Instagram will not really like it like that. But that same video on TikTok will rack up. The same content that might be great for Reuters may not be great for CNN. You have to ensure that you understand that platform. And that's why one of the things I said is you have to be a great consumer as well, because if you want to know what is best to put out for people, you have to be on those platforms as well, consuming content, reading, watching. liking, understanding, following people, following platforms. You understand that, or if you're putting up something on Financial Times, the way the title will be, it could be one story, but you will repurpose it the way you put it for Financial Times. You know, whatever story you have to put there, it has to be finance driven. Okay, your client just declared $100 billion in profit. That's the way you put it on Financial Times. The way you probably put it on, if you want to put up that same story on Bella Ninja, the way you put it is different. You say revenue generation has led to the transformation of 100 million women. Because the platforms are different. It is the same story I want to talk about, but I'm approaching it differently because of the platform. Then research-driven content. I think I've touched about on this a little bit. You have to research a lot. My dear, you will love your Google. You will love your, one of my bosses will call it Chichi, ChatGPT. You will love it. You will love your predictive generative AI. You will love those things because you have to be deep in research. You have to read. Because let me not lie to you. The more things change, the more they stay the same. No matter how much all of these platforms and all of the models and everything are changing, human beings are still the same. We are still the same. We still love. We still are emotionally driven. We still buy things because of emotions. So you want to know how we think. You want to know why we think what we think. And so your content, the way it should look like a lot of research has gone into it. It's very important. Then message discipline, it must be the same across board. You can't, there must be a consistency such that anytime I see anything that is written by this person, oh, I instantly know, oh, this brand is for Coca-Cola. This is for MTN. This is for Wando. Like, because there is a consistency in what things look like. Let me move straight. Storytelling is very important. It's a very great aspect. You have to be creative in your storytelling. Ensure that there is, I want to quickly show us a video. My time is soon going to be up, but let me quickly, can anybody see my video?
Yes.
Can you see my video?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let me start. Okay, let me start from the beginning.
Push.
I really wish I could ask us, oh, what do you think about that? What do you think? The first time I saw that video, I was just laughing. It was such a funny video, but it's so disruptive. I'm sure some of you might have seen it. It's so disruptive. It's so attention grabbing. It will make you stop in your child because you're like, oh my God, how can a little child that was just born today be doing all of these things? And that is how you approach your content. That is how you approach you have to be mad creative, because if something is not creative, why should I give you, like, everybody these days, the average attention span is about 5 seconds. And if you're not able to grab my attention in the first 5 seconds, nobody wants to listen to you, because you're not the only one that is looking for my attention. Facebook is looking for my attention. My mother is looking for my attention. My boss is looking for my attention. This person is looking for my attention. All of these people are vying for the same person. So how can you be so creative in your storytelling, in your content development, that it will break through the clutter, cut through the clutter, and pass your message? What they were trying to do was to show you internet speed. And they're telling you, if you buy our product, it doesn't take long. It will work. It will work. But they did, and they did that with their storytelling. Let's talk about strategy and strategical thinking. I think I'm going to there's so many processes in this, but one thing I want, because I'm trying to rush through my presentation now, I have about 7 more minutes, so I'm going to, before you even embark on I think this should have come before writing and content development. Strategy should be the first thing, because you don't want to jump into any campaign, any brief. Your boss has sent you a brief, your client has sent you. You don't want to jump into anything without first asking yourself some very important questions. And I would say they are the 5 W's and H. Who is this? What is the statement of the problem? Like this, okay, your client has just sent you a brief and they say that everybody they want to sensitize people. They want to jump on the World Hand Washing Day, and they want to, maybe Dettol, for example, is your client, and they want to jump on World Hand Washing Day, and they're trying to find a very creative way to ensure that everybody washes their hand using Dettol soap. And how do you want to? So, what is the problem in that kind of brief? What is the problem? What are they trying to achieve? Those two things, they're very important. You need to ask yourself that. Okay, so maybe the problem is that people generally in Nigeria, we don't like to wash our hands, or people like to touch each other so much. We are very communal. If you see my auntie today, you have hugged me. This person is coming, they want to shake my hand and shake it vigorously. Before I say something, they've touched me, because we like to be in each other's spaces. But if we don't wash our hands, it's the germs that you carry. You touch me, it's the same place. You have touched me, you have touched your brother. We are spreading germs around instead of love. Can you see? That could be a copy. Spread love, not germs. Clock it, clock it, clock it. Spread love, not germs. Maybe that's the copy for the hand washing day, because that's one of the things that we do. So what is the problem you're trying to solve? That's situation and audience analysis. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Who am I trying to speak to? Who are the people? I'm trying to speak to everybody, because sometimes your target audience, it might be old, young, they might be Gen Z. And when you talk to Gen Z people, you're trying to do cha-cha-cha, umuna, clock it. And if you talk to my 60-year-old grandma, you tell her cha-cha-cha, she's wondering, is something okay? Did you hit your head? Because she doesn't understand what you're saying. So you want to talk to people in the way that they will understand. That's why strategic communication is very important. And then you plan clear message development. Now that you understand who you're talking to, you understand what the problem is. How do you want to talk to them? How do you want to talk to them? You think about that and you talk to them in the way that they can understand. They can understand. You're planning, when it comes to planning frameworks, which platforms are the best platforms to communicate with these people? So if you're talking to people that are in the older generation, you know there's a way they read newspapers a lot. They will check it. You're thinking, if you're talking to people that are in rural areas and they don't have access to the internet, is not 5G speed or 4G speed like you people use here. You are using radios. That's the best way to reach them, because no matter what, there will always be radio signals in their village. So you plan your frameworks. What framework are we using? How do we want to communicate? Which platform is the best platform to reach these people? Scenario thinking. You're thinking, you map it out. If I'm going to be this person, what am I going to do? Many times, one of the mistakes that we make as public relations professionals is to think of ourselves as always the consumers. I promise you, one of the things that users will do is to surprise you. Have you ever created a product or created a thing and you find your consumers, they find use cases for your products that you as a producer, you never thought about before in your life? Then evaluation and measurement, as well as crisis cases and perception problems. So crisis is also something that really happens all the time that we do. We manage crisis in public relations is being strategic as an individual. Because when it comes to crisis and a situation has happened, your first approach as a public relations professional is not to panic. You cannot be panicking like your client is panicking. So long before that day, you're already prepared for the crisis that will happen. Now, media and stakeholder relations. I know that a lot of things that we're talking about we're talking about AI, we're talking about this. I've said many things, but one of your biggest currency or the biggest currency that you could ever develop as a public relations professional is relationships. Have people, know people. I'm pretty sure I sort of heard that talking about it, like building a personal database for yourself. Build relationships with people. Understand the media. Like, okay, what media, I don't know, we can't go into that in details, but I think I sort of hinted on it when I was saying understanding messaging and specific messaging platform, specific messaging for each platforms. So how does this platform work? If I'm looking at the northern area, which platforms are best? I'm thinking of Daily Trust. Those are the kind of platforms. Leadership, that's where you will find them. If I'm thinking Lagos, I'm thinking Guardian, I'm thinking this kind of papers, or if I'm thinking Gen Z, understand the Nigerian media ecosystem and the international one as well, depending on the client, is a very great skill that you must acquire. Building and maintaining relationships with your journalists. See, I can't overemphasize it. There are some people that they've saved my life and told me about things that will come out for my clients because I have relationships with them. Clients would have had problems, or because I know them, they say, if I say, are you still working with these people? I saw this is about to come out. Oh, do you know about it? Bam, they saved your life. And you've alerted your client. And by doing that, you become indispensable to them because they know, if I say we know, she will know what to tell, she will know what to call. Be the kind of person that when you know that you invite people, journalists to something, you will give them their money. Show them that you actually care about them. Like, it's not every time that you want to put up a report that you're always calling them. Check on them. Sometimes send them airtime money. Sometimes go to their office. Just build relationships with them. Have a reputation. And this is not just media, even your vendors, even your clients, build relationships. They are your stakeholders. Reputation through consistent communication, pitching and structured follow-ups. Stakeholder mapping and engagement. I'm sorry I can't go because my time is almost up. Digital competence and technology relevance. This is like you have to be AI savvy. Like, that's the current wave. AI is going to disrupt. It's not it's going to, it has already started. And it's going to disrupt effectiveness. It's going to disrupt how quickly you can work. AI can generate a press release in 10, 20 seconds. It can do that for your client. So why do they need you? It can do that for your clients. Why do they need you? That's a very important question that you need to see. So it's the people that can use this artificial intelligence very well that will be the masters of tomorrow in their profession. So basic analytics, knowing how to create content for digital platforms, social listening, being present online and knowing how your client is being reported online. You are picking up tools. They're monitoring tools that you can also use and understanding online behavior. And then again, I will say it again, artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence can help your life, can help you create videos. It can help you create content at the snap of a finger. But you have to know how to prompt these things. So I've come to the end. I'm really sorry because I'm trying to, we're pressed for time. I think my time's already up, Stella, right? Yes. So I've come to the end. I have some questions. I don't know, or you can look at these questions. I'm going to share my slide with you so you can look at them, answer these questions, and think about them and answer them, maybe based on what we have shared. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your session was really interactive. Yes. Although people that are looking for your attention, I was also looking for your attention. So yes. So thank you very much.
Sorry.
Yola, before we take your question, just quick questions for you, please. Somebody is asking, how do I build my public relations portfolio as a student? And someone else is asking that I'm not currently studying mass communication, I'm studying English. How do I start to build my career in public relations? So two things, how to build my portfolio and then how to start my career in public relations. I think starting the career, then building portfolio, or as a student
Yeah,
for the portfolio.
Okay, so how do you build, how do you start your career as somebody who is not starting out, who didn't study public relations? Fun fact, neither did I. I stumbled on it. I studied guidance and counseling. But let me tell you, first and foremost, no knowledge is wasted. I mean, if you're an English student, let's start from there. There's nothing you've learned that is wasted. And you can do anything you want to do in this life, regardless of where you started. So you want to start, let me tell you, you can do it. Now, how can you do it? Internship. I don't know what class you are currently, but when you want to do your CWES, why not intern at public relations agencies or firms? I think there's Black House Media, that's BHM. There's I don't know, a lot of them. There's Red Media, there's Redrick, there's Scott. There are many of them. Apply to these places. Don't wait until you have a chance. Don't wait until it's time for you to finish school that you start applying. Send them cold emails. Go to their LinkedIn page, send them. Find somebody that works there, message them, look for their CEO, enter their inbox. Hello, ma, this is this. Offer value. Say, I'm a student at this. I've been doing this and doing this XYZ, and I really want to expand my stuff in this. And I think Scott Communications could be a great place for me to um, get the experience that I need. So internships, like there's nothing that will prepare you for knowing something, actually doing that thing itself. So internships. Secondly, take courses. Because you're not actually prepared, that's not what you went to school to study. Take courses. There's so many free courses that could help you in public relations. So go to Coursera, go to Udemy. In fact, I think LinkedIn Learning is also a great place. You will find free courses. Now, secondly, go and be stalking the people online that are already into the profession. They could mentor you, they could help you out with it. Stalk their pages, see what they're currently doing. Go and read about it. Go and read about them. Then read. I mean, you've already heard some of the skills I already said you need to acquire. Don't wait until you get out of school before you start trying to acquire those skills. Why not start now? Why not start now? I said you need to learn how to write. Okay, why not start learning how to write now? Your writing is to learn to start at G5Ws and 8. Why can't you create a blog post, a blog for yourself where you're just going to be writing? And when you start learning that course, maybe you start your course, build visibly or build publicly, that's the word. So okay, today is the first day, you come on LinkedIn, today is the first day of my blah 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 blah. I just started learning this course, so today this is what I took. You put it the first time, you put it up the second time, you put it up the third time. By the time you shoot your shots at any of these agencies, they come on your Instagram page or your LinkedIn page to look at you and say, what is this person doing? They've seen, okay, she seems to be quite interested in this. She's taking this course, Yeah, I think those are the ways to start. You really start by doing. I hope that answers your question. So the next person that's talking about building portfolios, I think if you're not working somewhere already, I think you build your portfolios by actually working. If you don't have a place you're currently working in, go and volunteer somewhere. You build your portfolio by actually working, honestly. The people you have worked with, the work you have done. And I think Onyinye mentioned something about documentation, like you have an Excel sheet where you document you did a job today for MTN, you wrote press releases, this and this, blah, blah, blah. You put the link to that press release there, because let me tell you, many times you write pieces for people and it's not going to be in your name. It's not going to be in your name. However, because you do thought leadership for executives, you're going to write the pieces for them, but it's going in the name. But however, you can put that in your portfolio and say, oh, I wrote this piece for this particular person. Maybe as people ghostwrite a lot these days. And then you volunteer. When you see, I think TEDx, I was a volunteer in September. I did a volunteer stuff for TEDx. I volunteered for the TEDx Lagos 10th anniversary. I've not posted about that. Thanks. I remember, I'll go and post about that. I volunteered as a PR consultant for TEDx Lagos 10th anniversary. Volunteer. Sometimes they may not pay you. I know volunteering again is a luxury because it's your money you are using, but try to volunteer. And by doing that volunteering, that also applies to the person that says, how can I enter? Go and get people low-hanging fruits when if you fail, okay, you just failed, but at least you now learn how to do it. Go and volunteer, pick up somebody's projects, pick up your friend that's just started something. Okay, I want to do public relations and communications for you. I'm going to help you work on this project. Don't worry, I'll talk to this person, volunteer, apply your skills. Let's see the things that you have done. Because many times before people will give you money to do things for them, they want to see the value that you have offered. So volunteer. And then build your portfolio. You can get I think there are free portfolio links and portfolio websites where you can put your portfolio, or you can put your LinkedIn could be your portfolio because you're putting stuff there. Yesterday at Kinika Kinikon, I was Kinika Kinikon. I'm happy to announce that I was the Kinika Kinikon. You're building your portfolio by that. You could have those websites. I know Canva helps to build a portfolio, and there's so many other free websites. All right, Emiola Oluwaseun, let's have your question very quickly. I hope I was able to.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you very much.
I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I think Oluwaseun was speaking.
Okay, so firstly, I'm grateful for this opportunity, and then also I just finished this August this year from OAU literature major, and so I actually found PR and communication fascinating based on people that I'm following on LinkedIn, but I actually don't know the way to how to break into this, and also I've been contemplating maybe I should go into to broadcasting because I was a member of ACJ on campus and also a member of a news agency where I write news and also intern for a tech media company as well. So in the aspect of writing, news writing and stuff like that, I'm actually okay. But it's not an area of interest. I don't know how to for someone that does not actually have a background in communication, except for the few years, maybe 2 or 3, that I use as a journalist on campus, a student journalist on campus, for which I write news, source, create, and also work for 2 months for a tech media company in Lagos. And so for now, I actually don't know the way forward. So I just decided to stick with my news writing. But I'll be processing my NYSC next year, February. And I actually do not know I just have to go ahead or where to go to. And then for the skill set, for now, I'm also global social media manager, where I've worked for companies and brands as social media manager, helping to manage content writing, distribution, media, digital advertisement as well. So I do not know whether that's apply for PR work as well. That was the skill set, and email marketing as well. VA too. I'm a virtual assistant because I opting for ALS virtual assistant program while I was in school. So I'm looking for how do I get into PR and communication, like corporate communication.
Yeah. So I think you have the skills. Don't let anybody write to you. You do have the skills. You're a senior journalist. Yes, so you have the skills. Fun fact, I was also a social media manager myself. You have the skills. So it means half the time, let me tell you something. If I've created videos for our events and done reels for our events in the absence of a videographer, nobody can. Yeah, I will do my thing myself. I've also been an executive assistant before. In fact, I've done project management. And all of those skills are transferable. So don't look at, and that's why many people, when you enter job interviews and they're asking you questions, so you've not done anything exactly in this line, look for the skills that you've acquired in something that can be transferred into this new place that you're going into. They're transferable skills, because many times as a public relations, I mean, when you said you will cry, you will have multiple projects that you are handling all at once. And you will ask yourself, who did I offend? Is it because I am looking for money? Or is it because I want to help people to communicate? Who sent me? That's where your skills as a virtual assistant, because you are helping people, this one. You will learn how to manage things. You learn how to prioritize which one is most important. I have to call a vendor. I have to manage an event. I have to be at this one. We have to create this one. There's a newsletter that's not gone out. There's a social media creative that we're supposed to do. How do you manage in the scale of importance, priority? So those skills that you have acquired in all of those places, they're still very valid, very, very useful as a PR and comms professional. They're still very, very useful. So in terms of how do you break into it, I think I sort of answered that. It's the same thing that I was telling that person: internship, volunteer, follow people, message them, ask. You miss 110% of the opportunities that you don't ask for. The answer is always no if you don't ask. Ask people, enter cold emails. I've cold email people for this life, and it works. At least if out of 100 people, one person we shall answer you. One person, even if the answer is I'm sorry at this time, at least the next time they have an opportunity like that, they will think of you. You'll be the first person that they will think about. Ask, volunteer, look for places where they are doing this stuff, and go and meet them. That, oh, I see that you are doing this. Can I do PR for you? I'm going to do it for free. You're already building, and you can come on LinkedIn and say, oh, I did this. Those people that want to have you as interns, if they say, what have you done? What do you know how to do? These are the things you have done. So reach out to people, ask questions, look for internship opportunities. I think internship is a low-hanging fruit for growth, and is a low barrier entry into public relations. Go and intern, go and ask for internship positions, and that way you're going to be learning, and they will pay you. They will pay you for internship. Go and do it. So that way you're going to get the job. So I think internships, volunteering, looking for mentors that are already there, that are doing it, and then building publicly. So I think the same response applies. But you have the skills, my dear. You're already in the media, so I think you already know how we write, how we do most of these things. You're already there. You have the skills. There are many people who were media professionals that became corporate comms. I mean, I know the head of corporate comms for SCMB used to be in the media. One of the corporate comms, I think, is the senior external relations manager for MTN, used to be in the media. So don't think that because you used to do media stuff, you can come into public relations. I hope that helps. I hope that was able to answer your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nife. We are really
Thank you,
grateful for your
Stella,
time and for your
for having
insight. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. And yes, it has
Thank
really been insightful. There's so much to learn and to digest. And yes, Nife will be sharing the slide with me, and I'll share it on the group. So yes, thank you so much, Nife. Nife is on a work retreat, but she had to take her time to be here. Shockingly, even Onye also has a work retreat today. So thank you, our speakers, for, even if it's not really flexible, you took our time to be here, and we are really grateful.
Thank you
you
for
very
having
much.
me. Anytime, Stella. I did.
All right, thank you. Then we are going to our third speaker, Damilola Olujide. Damilola, are you here? Hello. I've seen that you've been on the call.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you for
here. You're welcome.
staying with us from the start. We really appreciate you. All right. Damilola is a consultant, strategy and business management lead. She's a strategic communications professional with extensive experience in developing and implementing impactful public relations and marketing communication strategies across diverse sectors. Some highlights of her work include leading campaigns for multinational and indigenous brands across FMCG, fintech, financial services, health education, pay TV, and government, as well as steering high-level stakeholder engagement for both public relations and private sector clients. She currently serves as the consultant strategy and business management at Chain Reactions Africa, where she leads strategy development and client management for top brands such as Indomie Nigeria, Guinness Nigeria, Promacedon Nigeria. She has also managed clients such as the Bacardi Martini Nigeria, Pladis Foods Nigeria, Polaris Bank, Savannah Energies, WAMCO, and the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, among others. She was recently named among the Marketing and Communications 35 under 35, well done, ma. She has worked with SOL PRO, LSF PRO, where she led and supported major campaigns for brands such as MultiChoice Nigeria, FRS, Big, and so many brands. Her portfolio is really, really strong because she has several years of experience doing excellent work. She holds a BSc in History and International Studies from Redeemer University, and she has concluded a master's degree in Media and Communications at the Pan-Atlantic University. She's an associate member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPRO, and the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, with professional certifications from Alpha Media Academy, O2 Academy, and Henley Business School, University of Reading, UK. Thank you so much, Damilola. We are very honored and grateful to have you, someone with your word of knowledge, to be here with us. Thank you so much. We're grateful. So I'm passing the mic to you, and the stage is yours.
All right. Good morning. We're still in the morning, just a minute to noon. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Stella. I was listening to you read my portfolio and I was like, oh, go. Thank you so much. It's a delight for me to be here. I'm always happy to do this. Thank you to the Nigerian Women in PR platform for creating opportunities like this. I'm always very excited to talk to young people, teach them, educate them, help them, answer questions, provide opportunities for you to grow and be better versions of yourselves. So for the cause of this presentation, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, the practice of PR in action. Yes, we can.
Yes, and I also want to say a big thank you to everybody the two ladies, beautiful ladies that spoke just before me. Very wealth of knowledge has been shared with you. I hope everybody on this call has taken notes, and not just taking notes, but have also, committed in their minds to learn, go outside and do all these things, develop these skills that have been taught to you, right? And everything that they've talked to you about public relations, you're going to begin to take the active steps to be good practitioners once you get out of school, and for those out of school, to practice. So talking about practice, I'm here to talk to you about PR in action. We've had a lot of conversation around the skill set you need to develop. So I'm going to assume that you have developed these skills. You know what is PR, you know how to get into the industry, right? And now you are there. How then do you practice? What does it mean to be a public relations practitioner, right? And I'm going to take you from strategy to execution, how to craft PR campaigns, and of course, how to monitor for media performance. When I get opportunity to speak, I always like to start with my journey, because it sort of creates an opportunity for me to tell you my story and also encourage you that you can do it. I started, of course, out with no experience and no background. As Stella said, I have my BSc, my first degree in History and International Relations. Growing up, I've always wanted to do something in communication. I knew for a fact I wanted to do something in communication. But along the line, one thing didn't work out, and I had to go and do History and International Relations. Getting out of school, for my NYSC, I worked in customer care and sales support, right? Very clueless. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was just out of school. Like, what do you do with international relations and history? They tell you different things. Oh, you can be a diplomat, you can work in the embassy, you can do this, you can do that. And I just knew that wasn't it for me. So I went into the next best thing, which was customer service, right? And then there I met this very beautiful lady. very inspiring woman that, you know, saw me beyond customer care. And she was like, have you thought of public relations? What do you know about it? Go and read up on it. And then I went to read and I'm like, well, I don't know much. I've read what I can read, but I'll do it. Just put me there. And then she gave me an opportunity for a graduate trainee. I went for the interview and I got the job. And that's how I started learning. So how did I learn PR? I learned PR through real life client demands and real life experiences. I didn't get the opportunity to go to school for it, as some of you here are studying mass communication or related courses. I didn't get that opportunity. I had to put on my boots and learn on the job. I got a job where there were demands from me and I didn't know anything. So I had to learn and I had to give those demands, right? So I had to buckle up and be and put in my best to become what I am today, right? And then, of course, I made loads of mistakes, right? And I think it's very important that you are not afraid to make mistakes, because that's where you learn, right? So I made loads of mistakes. I learned from those mistakes. And of course, I had breakthrough moments. And one thing that I also did was I relied on people, everybody around me. I was working in an organization with experienced hands, right? So I relied on them, went to meet them, ask questions. I'm not sure if it was Onyinye or Nifesi that talked about asking a lot of questions, even when, you know, it might seem like you're asking too many questions. Please ask, rely on people around you. And of course, I trained myself over and over and over again. Since I started my career in 2016 till now, every year, except COVID year, I have taken a course, a professional training course. Every year. 2020 was the only year I didn't take a course, because I knew that there was so much more to learn. I had to keep training myself. I had to be better than everybody else. I had the background, the knowledge, the skills, and everything. I had to prove myself. So how do I do that? I train and train and train and train and train. So yes, that's enough about me and a little boost and ginger for you that are listening to me this morning. Now, looking at public relations in practice. Well, I would start with the race model, and I specifically picked this race model because I know a lot of you guys that study mass comm or incomes related courses would have heard about the race model. And this is what it is when it's in terms of practice, right? It is research, action, communication, and evaluation, right? But now in the reality of it, there's a lot to unbundle from research. There's a lot to unbundle from action. There's a lot to unbundle for communication. There's a lot to unbundle for evaluation. So I will take you through each of these things step by step. And at the end of the day, maybe we can fit in some time for some quick interactive session, right? So what exactly is research? Research is finding the problem or the situation, understanding the problem and the situation. Action is what are we going to do about it? Oh, we are a new brand. We are coming into Nigeria for the first time. That's the situation. What is the problem? Oh, there are a lot of competitors. We sell hand sanitizer, for example, right? There are a lot of people selling hand sanitizers. How then can I make sure that my own hand sanitizer is the most preferred brand or product, right? Amongst all other hand sanitizers in a new market that nobody knows me. That's the problem. Now, what exactly are we going to do about it? That's your action. That's the program and the planning. That's where it comes into place. Okay, now we know the problem, we know the situation. What then do we do? And that's where the strategy comes into place, because your strategy will be the roadmap, the path that takes you from point A to point B. And then you look at communication, which is execution of it. You know the strategy, you already know the roadmap. Now, what do we do along the way to make sure that this strategy, this point B we are trying to get to, we get there? Then how do we evaluate that all these things that we are doing along the way is working, right? Have we done the right thing? Is it effective? Or do we need to course correct? Do we need to retrace our steps? These are, that is basically what it is in practice of public relations. You start from research, you end in evaluation, and the circle goes back. From evaluation, you get some insight. We take you back to research. We take you back to planning again. We take you back to the communication. We take you back to evaluation. It's a cycle that just keeps going on and on and on until you have gotten the desired results. Now, let's look at research. Research is where every PR campaign really, really begins. I call it from my own desk to execution, because all the great campaigns that I've worked on, or any other public relations practitioner or marketing communications practitioner has worked on, started from their desk, right? They sat down in an office, sat down in a meeting, and they talked about it, right? So research is the first place to start. Now, there's different types of research. There's qualitative research and there's quantitative research. different ways that you can get information. And what exactly are you even doing with research? You are getting information that will guide your strategy, right? And as I said, strategy is the road. How do I get from Lagos, here in Lagos to Ibadan? There's Lagos-Ibadan Expressway that I will ply. I need a car that will take me, right? How do I get a car? Do I have my own personal car, or do I need to go to the garage, right, to board a vehicle that will take me to Ibadan from Lagos? There's a road. We already know what to do. We know how we are going to get there. Now, what are those things that we need to get us there, and to get us there safely? Very, very important. So research is that background that you need to build to make sure that you have the right path. Now, you can want to get to Ibadan, right? And if you don't have all the quality research done, you don't understand the situation, the road, the market, everything, that the car, all the situation, you don't understand anything, and you just want to get to Lagos, from Lagos to Ibadan, you can go through a longer route, or even never make it to Ibadan, or get to Ogun State instead of Ibadan. And that is why research is very, very, very important. Now, understanding the real problem. I put real here because it's very, very important. There are a lot of things that we assume to be the problem. So I started by talking about I have a hand sanitizer brand, right? And I'm coming into Nigeria for the first time. There's a market and whatnot. So I look at it. What exactly is the real problem? It's possible that the reason Nigerians prefer one particular hand sanitizer brand is because it's easy to find, right? I go to the Malam in front of me, I quickly need an sanitizer, is available there, I can buy it. That is why they go and buy that particular brand, not necessarily because they love that brand so much they can't do it. If there's another brand that is available at the kiosk in front of them, they'll probably buy it. Now you understand the real problem. The real problem is not love for one particular brand. So that means there's an opportunity for me as an hand sanitizer brand to enter into that market space and also do that, what that other brand is in terms of my distribution, and make it better. Now, if I think to myself that the problem is, oh, they really, really like this brand, so I need to drive my PR campaign to promote my name, make people love me, do all these things and all these things. And after you've spent all that money to do all those love-driven campaign, brand love-driven campaign, you now wonder why your product is not selling. And then you ask yourself, but we've done everything, we did everything. It's because you missed the real problem. You didn't have an effective research done, right? So it's very, very important that your research is thorough. Understanding the market, industry, and competitors is also very, very important. And that's one of the things you get done and you find out from research. You understand the market. What is the market? The market is basically where the product is going to exist in. The product is going to exist in Lagos, Nigeria. That is your market, right? So you need to understand Lagos, Nigeria. What makes Lagos move? What makes Lagos function? Why would I buy, Nifeti talked about really liking Coca-Cola. So why would anybody in Lagos buy Coca-Cola? What is it about Lagos? The sun is very hot. There's a lot of traffic. People are stuck on the road in traffic. They are tired. They need something to really refresh them. You understand that need peculiar to Lagosians, so you are able to channel your public relations communication around how the product solves that problem. And that's why Coke will always tell you that they are refreshing, always refreshing, and they understand the market, and they know that, oh, these people, this is what drives them, right? Or this is the situation that they are in, and that is why I would tell them that Coke is refreshing and they will buy it. Now, also, you need to understand the industry, right? When you are putting together a public relations campaign, the industry is Coca-Cola is a fast-moving consumer good, right? So that means people are always buying it. It's fast-moving. You go to a shop, they buy it quickly. So those are different. There are different types of fast-moving consumer goods. They can be toiletries, they can be food products, whatever it is. Anything that you go to a store, you buy every day, so quickly finish. You go buy it again, quickly finish. That's what they mean by fast-moving consumer goods, right? So you understand that, oh, this industry, this is how it works. These are the regulators. NAFDAC regulates it. So I have to make sure that my production is standard and quality. So if I understand all the dynamics of everything that works in that industry, I am able to position my brand in a way that it runs and functions within that industry. Then also you need to do research on your competitors. What is Pepsi doing? Coca-Cola needs to know and be on top of it. What is Biggie doing? Coca-Cola needs to know and be on top of it, because you guys are all fighting for the same market share. You are all fighting take me as a consumer, for example. Biggie is trying to get me to buy. Pepsi is trying to get me to buy. Coca-Cola is trying to get me to buy. Everybody, and I'm their ideal customer. So all of them are talking to me at the same time. What is it that sets apart one competitor from? Sorry, can you just go on mute, please? Thank you. I'm just checking that everybody is still following me, please. Hello?
Yes, we're still here. Well done.
Okay.
Yes, we are
okay.
here. Yeah, we're following.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Yeah. So you need to understand your competitors and what they are doing and be able to do it better or do it in another form to be able to capture your audience, right? These are the things that research will tell you. Now you need to understand the customer and the consumer, customer, and stakeholders. I have broken them down into these three because they are different categories of people. Your consumer is the person that will take the product or use the product. Now, a very good example is a diaper brand, right? It helps you to differentiate between consumer and customer. It's a diaper brand. Who would consume diaper? Who would use it? The baby, right? Who would buy the diaper? The parent, right? Or guardian or whoever it is. So the person buying at that point is the customer. The person using is the consumer. So you need to understand that dynamics if your consumer and customer are different people. Now, there are brands that consumer and customer are the same person, like Coca-Cola. I buy Coke, I consume it, right? So your consumer and customer are the same people, but there are brands where they are distinct, like the diaper that example I gave. And then there are stakeholders. Now, your stakeholders, I remember when Oyin was talking, she talked to you about internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Now, the internal stakeholders are the staff that exist in the company, the factory workers, everybody that works in that company are the different stakeholders. Some companies are so big that they have board of directors that are stakeholders. For example, if you look at Coca-Cola, it's so big, they are distributors, the people that buy the Coca-Cola in bulk from the company and take it to their own warehouse and sell it to the smaller people that are selling it in your store, in your shop. These are another category of stakeholders. So there are different people that you need to talk to. You need to understand them. Research would help you understand them. Why would somebody come and buy Coca-Cola in bulk from me? I need to understand what drives that person, what are their needs. Then also, you need to do media audits for your brand. What is the media talking about this product, this category, this industry, this market? What exactly are they saying about it? What is happening in Lagos right now? What's the media talking about, right? What is happening in Nigeria right now? What's the media saying? Oh, what is happening with consumers right now? What is happening in the industry right now? Is it growing? Is there growth? Is there no growth? You need to do a media audit and understand exactly what the media is saying about the business, right? Then you need to ask yourself the right questions. Now, one thing about research is you get a lot of information, right? How then do you make sense of it? You need to ask yourself the right questions. Oh, I've gotten this data. Is it relevant to me, right? Do I need it for what I'm trying to put together? Maybe not. Maybe yes. You begin to sieve like that so that then you reduce your information to very little. Then also you connect insights to strategy. Now, this is where we go to the next phase. You've gotten all this information, you've gotten all this, you've been able to extract it, you've asked yourself the right questions. Oh, this is, you know, the real problem. Oh, you understand Lagos, you understand the industry, you know what your competitors are doing, so you're able to create something different. Oh, you understand your consumer, what they need, their pain points, the media platforms that they consume. Are they always on Facebook, or are they on Instagram, or are they on the road? So you need billboards. Are they driving in their cars, radio, or in buses, they listen to radio, or at home when they get home, they watch TV? You already understand all those things about them, right? Then you now connect all this information that you have gotten to create the pathway to delivering these products from my shelf from my factory in Imota to the table of my consumer in Ikeja, right? And that's how you use the insight that you have gotten there to land to your strategy. Now, what exactly is the purpose of research? It might seem like a lot. I have a lot of colleagues that really don't like research, like looking for this information, putting it together. How do I do it? Research is very, very important. And I've heard a couple of questions. I remember one person asked a question earlier about how she needs to be able to convince her boss to buy into her PR ideas. Now, I think one thing that I always preach is public relations practitioners need to understand that PR is a strategic management function. What does that mean? Sounds like such a big word or big words. It means that for a business to function, public relations must be a pillar, a very strong pillar. Now, if an organization doesn't understand that, it's very difficult for you to achieve or convince them to do anything. Now, one way that makes public relations a strong pillar for the business is research. Now, I've come to imagine I go to my boss, right? And I've told him, sir, in this industry, this is what is happening. This is what the industry is saying. This is what our competitors are doing and they are saying. And this is why they are selling. This is what our consumers like. They are always on TV. We can get them on TV. We can talk to them on radio. We can do XYZ. We can go on Instagram, do another. They will see, they will click it. Oh, they're always listening to podcasts now. We can go, give them the data, the analysis, and everything. I say, this is how the business is doing it. Other businesses are doing it. And this is the data that is backing the information that I have. And this is the way that we need to go. If you give them the data will never lie to you. And that's what research gives you. It gives you that data and that information. You carry that data and that information, you take it to the business. So this is how the business is going to grow and make more money. We are going to grow in terms of awareness and publicity. And then more people know about us, more people buy us, we make more money. You are talking money. So your boss is going to listen. They see the direct translation from PR to profits. And that is what is missing majorly, why businesses don't believe in PR, because a lot of PR practitioners have not been able to connect it for them. And that is why research is very, very important. You go to them, your public relations campaign is backed by research, backed by data, and they will listen, except anybody that doesn't want to make money is a person that won't listen. So that is why public relations need to be positioned as a management function, and research does that for you. Right? You use research to identify the issues. You use it to engage in problem solving. You use it to prevent and manage crises. You use it to make the organization responsive and responsible to their publics. And that's where corporate CSR comes in, because an organization needs to always be seen as responsible. You're asking me to bring money and buy Coke. What are you giving me back? I've bought how many cartons of Cokes now? What are you doing for my environment? What are you doing for the society, right? Oh, I'm employing people. Oh, I have an education fund. Oh, your children can go to school for free. It encourages me to keep buying Coca-Cola, right? So that is how it translates to profit. But if you don't go with this data and this research, more often than not, they wouldn't listen to you. Now, after you have done all this research and you have your strategy, right? So strategy for me is a topic that if I start talking to you on this call, probably won't close until only God knows when, right? So, but I will explain it quickly. As I said, is the pathway to get from A to B. How am I going to get there? So let's take which campaign now can I use an example that will be easy to understand. Let's use Coca-Cola, and this is their recent campaign now that you've seen everywhere, share a Coke with. Now, the point is for Coca-Cola is they've been existing for so long, right? And they've always talked about sharing happiness, be a product that is refreshing for you, right? Now, how then do we continue to reinforce? Their goal is to reinforce their positioning. They've done a lot of research and they see that community is thriving, right? A lot of people are doing things together more now, right, than doing things individually. There's a drive of, oh, I belong, I want to belong, I want to be among, involve me. All those things is a cultural truth, and research has given them that information. So why don't we create an opportunity where our product also fits within that narrative that we have found that research has told us, that people want to do things together. There's community, there's communal living, right? And encourage people not to drink Coke alone, but even when they buy, don't buy it alone, buy for yourself and buy for somebody else. And then they sat down in their brilliant minds and said, you know what, let's make it that we prompt them to do it. On our bottles, you share a Coke with Wale, share a Coke with Shade, share a Coke with Ngozi, share a Coke with Musa is there. And they put a lot of money, a lot of application around it to say that is the next best thing to do. Don't drink Coke alone, drink it with your friends. More people are buying when they see their friends, then they're buying, they're sending to their friends. Like, it's such a very genius marketing strategy, right, from the business. And that is what it is, strategy. It is, they've done research, you understand it. How then do we make it happen? That's where the strategy comes into place. Then how do you now turn that strategy into creative messaging? And these are the 4 different types of creative messaging that I use, and I'll tell you how I do it. You have a campaign theme, right? You have your key messaging, you have your content, all the press release, blog posts, social media content, all those things, and then media angles that media will write story around. How do we craft all these things? It sounds like such a very difficult thing, but it's simple at the end of the day. when I look at crafting campaign themes here, I anchor themes on human insights. I already know from this Coca-Cola now, the human insight is that people now exist in communities, in groups, right? It is relevant because the Nigeria or the traditional Nigerian society promotes communal living, has always promoted communal living, right? There's a need among Gen Zs or younger people now to feel belong to something, right? So that's a cultural relevance. And there's a clear brand tension, right? I need more people to buy the product. So then I create a message, share a Coke with XYZ person. I've solved that campaign theme problem already, right? I look for that big unifying idea that can stretch across. And it's very important that when you are crafting messaging as a PR practitioner, you think of it beyond PR alone, right? How are the advertising guys going to take this message I've crafted and create an ad out of it? How are the activation guys going to create an event that that centers around this messaging that I've created? So it needs to be very versatile, a message that you can move, break, tweet, the core of it remains, but you can stretch it across different platforms and different formats. Now, crafting key messaging, for me, I always rely on messaging pillars. Now, that means that there are different pillars. So if my message, one message pillar is happiness, one message pillar is community, I'll do a lot of communication around how Coke makes you happy, makes you feel good, another one is community. Oh, how sharing a Coke makes you deepen your community, your connection with your friends, your family. That's another messaging pillar. And like that. I create different messaging pillars and I'm able to tell diverse stories, multiple stories, right? That it never ends and everybody is excited about it. Now, in terms of content structure, for me, it's always from problem to insight to idea to proof. This is the problem. This is my insight. This is the idea. This is the proof of it. And that's what you will see in my storytelling. In whether I'm creating a video, I will show you the problem. I will show you the insight. Wow, the wow moment. I will show you the idea. And then the proof of it is with the product. And that's what the content is going to, from video to press release to blog posts to engaging influencer content, whatever it is, it follows that trajectory. Then how do I develop media angles? I need to create hooks from trends and human stories that when the media see, the media automatically will write stories along that line. So you look at the whole share a Coke with this person situation now, and you can see that journalists, media is writing about it. They are saying different things about it. Influencers are talking about it. Person say even organic, everyday people are talking about it. We have set the trend with the angles that we put out there in the media. So automatically they follow that pattern. And that is for me how I turn the strategy into creative messaging across different formats. I need to move quickly and I'm running out of time. Then executing PR campaigns in the real world. Now you have done your research, you have your strategy, right? And now you have your creative messaging. How then do we execute? And executing is where PR gets real. That is where it moves from my laptop and my planning and all the things into the real world. That's where you are dealing with media. You are calling journalists, you are calling influencers, you are calling all the TV stations, radio stations, and you are giving them your campaign message, your tactics and ideas, and everything comes to be. And then that's where everything now gets real. You must not get execution right, because all your research, you must not get execution wrong, because all your research and strategy is just paper, black and white. If you are not able to bring it to real people and people see it. Now, everybody knows Share a Coke with now because you can see the product is there. You see their billboards, you see their social media ads, you see how they are using influencers to communicate it. They have brought it to you. And that's why you know about Share a Coke with. Before it got to the media, before it got to all their products, it was somewhere on somebody's laptop or a group of people's laptops where they were plotting and planning. Imagine if the execution wasn't great. All those days, weeks, months of plotting and planning would have just gone to waste. So execution is the real deal. You are coordinating influencers. If you work on the agency side, you are managing the clients, right? You are managing the brand managers. You are managing the marketing directors, the products and sales people. You are working hand in hand with them to make sure that, once my campaign breaks, when they go to the supermarket, they actually find a bottle of Coke where it says Share a Coke with. Because it's disastrous if all the campaign breaks and then you go to the supermarket and you can't find the product. Well, what's not the purpose of it? I'm hearing it on radio, I'm seeing it on TV billboard, but I can't find the products. Waste, right? Then event planning. If you have to host an experiential event or something, you have to do a press conference, a press launch, a press unveiling, product launch, whatever it is. You need to plan the event, venue, vendors, setup, everything. Such a lot of things to do, but it gets very exciting when you get into the execution phase. You have to manage vendors, then you have to fix things that break last minute. Because I tell you, no matter how much you plan, there are just some things that never go the way that you expect. And sometimes it's insane and you get frustrated. But then the job for you as a PR practitioner is to prepare for these things. Have it at the back of your mind that something might go wrong. So when it goes wrong, you are not caught unawares or you are not too shaken. You already anticipate it, right? And you know what to do, you can fix it. Then when your campaign is out, is rolling and everything, how do you know that it's doing well? How do I know that this influencer video on social media is gaining the traction that I need it? How do I know that this blog post that I put online, people are reading it? How do I know that this radio campaign, people are listening to the radio? How do I know that this information I put on TV, people are watching it? That's when you begin to monitor and track. I think it was Onyinye that put up a slide of different tools that you can use. There are different AI and tech has done it so well that now there are different tools that you can use. So many tools are every day. And what are those things that you track? You track the sentiment. What does sentiment mean? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it neutral? Positive means that when this Share a Coke with campaign broke out, everybody loved it. Everybody's talking about it. Oh, they like it. It's really good. It's really ingenious. Oh, I bought my own Coke. Oh, I'm sharing it with this person. I'm sharing it with that person. Like the sentiment and mentions and comments around it is positive, right? So I track and monitor that it's positive. Now, is it possible that it's negative? Maybe somebody somewhere didn't like the campaign or thinks that is not good or something. What are they saying about it? Then those are negative sentiments. You need to monitor and track that, right? And anything that needs to be fixed needs to be fixed. If somebody should say, in the whole of Kano, we cannot find Share a Coke with, there's no Coke, all the Coke is the old one, then that's a negative sentiment. You need to go and fix it. Get your distributors to go and deliver the Coke there. So you need to track, right? Then the narrative pickup. Are people picking up on the message that you are pushing? Do people understand what Share a Coke means, right? You need to check it. The message delivery. Did the message land? Did they understand it? The share of voice. How many people are talking? Very, very important for you to know. How many people are talking about it on social media? How many people are commenting, liking, reposting, tweeting, video sharing, all the things that they do on social media? How many people are doing it, creating their own content? How many people are doing it? What's the quality of the coverage? Is it actually impactful? Is it what I'm making them to talk about that they are talking about? Or are they taking it in another direction? Very important. You need to monitor that. You need to track the impression. How many people have seen it and how many times as that person, like me now, how many times have I seen that ad? How many have I seen that ad and how many times have I seen it? That's one person repeatedly. That's your impressions. For reach, how many distinct people have seen it, right? And engagement, how many people are engaging with it? On radio, you do a radio campaign. Are people calling in to talk about it, to talk to you about it, right? If not, then you need to re-strategize, right? And that's where you are monitoring and listening. Now, and that is from, as I said in the beginning, with the race model, right? When you evaluate, you course correct, you go back to research, you go back to insights, then you go back to strategy, to your execution, and then it goes on and on and on again until you have gotten your desired result and that campaign comes to an end. Now, I want to show you basically what a standard PR plan flow would look like, start to finish. Now, this is very top level because different organizations have different ways that they break it down, but this is standard process, right? Of course, in your document, you need the title slide. Your title slide will tell you what this campaign is. Oh, this is a public relations campaign for Coca-Cola. This is a public relations campaign for MTN, right? That's your title slide. Executive summary, overview, situation. It can either be any of these three things. Basically, say right around the same thing. Your executive summary is you summarize the situation. Oh, Coca-Cola is trying to penetrate in the market. They need more people to buy Coke. So they are coming up with an event or a strategy or a campaign that's going to achieve this and that and that and this. That's what your executive summary is all about, and that's what you put there. You move to your next slide, which is your problem/opportunity statement. Or what is the problem? Or the problem is you need to deepen market share. Or what is the opportunity? People like community. So there's an opportunity for us to plug into the community there. Put it. Go to your objective. Your objectives must always be smart, right? It must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. If your objectives are not all these things, you are wishing, you are just making wishes, right? But your objectives must be these 5 things. It must be specific. What exactly do you want to do? It must be measurable. Can I measure this thing that I want to do? must be achievable. Can I actually do it, right? And is it relevant to the target audience and to the people? And then can I achieve all these things within a particular time frame? 3 months, 4 months, 1 year? Can I achieve it within that? So it can't be something that, oh, forever and ever we'll be doing it. Of course not. So it must be time bound, right? And then the next slide you want to have in your PR plan is the target audience. Who are these people? What do they like to do? Where do they like to go? What media do they like to consume? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram, TikTok? Where else again is there? Social media, Snapchat, all those things. Is that where they are, right? What do they like to do as an individual? They like to watch movies, or they like to go out. They don't like to stay at home. They are always looking for things to make them happy. You analyze your target audience and tell us who that person is. How old are they? What is their purchasing power? Do they have a job? Can they buy Coke? Very important, because supposing you be talking to people that cannot buy Coke, they will love the campaign, love everything I do, but they don't have the money to buy Coke. So you need to make sure that people you are talking to, they can afford it, right? You need to build it like that. Tell us everything about how old are they, what is their gender, are they male, are they female? You need to describe them from head to toe in that slide. Then you move to the next slide. What is the messaging framework? I talked to you earlier about different messaging frameworks and how you can achieve it. So you pick one of those messaging frameworks as is relevant to your campaign and build it in that slide. Then the next slide is your strategies and strategic approach, right? That's where you explain. We are going to, our big idea is share a Coke with, or a campaign message, share a Coke with, or creating happiness, driving happiness, or the direction is human angle storytelling, or the direction is, oh, I'm going to be everywhere so everybody will know. Whatever it is that your strategy is, you put it in that slide. Then, of course, you go to your tactics and execution plan. Now, this strategy, how am I going to do it? I'm going to use influencers. I'm going to go on radio. On radio, I'll do jingle. I'll do interview. On TV, I'll do ad. I'll do interview. On social media, I'll write blog posts. I'll use Pulse Nigeria. I'll go on Insta blog. I'll tell to the head notes. I'll do all the things that you really want to do. That's where you begin to break it down step by step. So I'll have an event. In the event, people will be hanging in the sky. There'll be a place where everybody will be happy and dancing. We'll bring this musician. Like, how do you want everything to come to life? Step by step, plan by plan, you detail it out. Then the timeline and work plan. Okay, between Monday and Tuesday, we are going to be on radio. Between January and November, we are going to be outdoor on billboards, or we are going to have blogs. We are going to put blogs or influencers every week. Week 1, Aproko Doctor will talk. Week 2, Taoma will talk. Week 3, this person will talk. And you detail out the timeline and the work plan from this, so that anybody that you take that plan to looks at it, they can see how this thing is going to come to life. Very important. Then creative concept. We need a press release. You write out the press release angle for them. We need social media caption. You write out the social media captions. We need a video. This is the video script. The radio hype. This is what they're going to be saying on radio. You write all your creative concept, all your creative messaging. You detail out everything, right? Then you look at your KPI and measurement matrix. Now, it's very important. Based on the objective that you have set, I told you in the objective that it must be measurable, right? So you must look at it. This objective that I've written, how am I going to measure it? I said that I want to create awareness for this new campaign. How am I going to track that if people are actually aware? I want to know how many people saw that content that I published, right? So you go on that content platform and you check the reach and the engagement. That's a way to measure, right? So that way you can say, 5 million people saw this post. So 5 million people are aware. 100 million people saw it, so 100 million are aware. You go to all the different channels and gather all the metrics, the reach and engagement, and then you'll be able to say boldly to your boss or your client that, yes, we achieved that objective of driving awareness for the campaign. Then, very, very important, the last part, budget and resource allocation. All these things don't happen out of thin air. They cost money, right? So you have to make sure that you have a budget in mind. This campaign that we are going to launch, we have 100 million naira for it. Then you need to allocate that 100 million naira to different things. We'll use 10 million for events. We'll use 20 for radio. We'll use 10 for social media. We'll use 50 for influencers. And what percentage of your overall budget are you going to allocate to different aspects of the campaign as you have detailed it out in your tactics? Oftentimes or not, we work with very small budgets, but you have to achieve the world. So you also have to be very, very creative in managing, in being tactical, and based on the reality of the budget. I will tell you for a fact, budget is never unlimited. In fact, what is lower than limited? That's what we have with budgets, because there are other things to spend money on, right? So this campaign, yes, it will bring us more money, but let's start with this small money first. So you as the PR person have to be creative enough to see how you can achieve this campaign with limited resources. Now, everything that I've talked to you about now is theory. We have put some theory. You have this PR, how you do a plan, how you do this, how you do that. Now, what is the reality of public relations? If you put together a PR plan, one, you must have very good judgment skills. You must be able to make a decision, right? So now they come to meet you. Oh, we want to use influencers. You should be able to advise on this campaign. Which kind of influencers? What needs? Should they be lifestyle? Should they be content creators or big influencers, celebrity level influencers? Or should we use very small people that are just growing at 5,000 followers? Like, you need to be able to make informed judgments. That's the reality of it. Also, you need to be very adaptable. I talked to you today. Now, your boss can come and tell you you have 100 million for this campaign, and tomorrow something comes up. I say, you know what, we have to cut down this budget to 50 million. And you have already planned on 100 million, and they tell you we still want everything that you said, but it's 50 million we'll put down for you. You have to be able to adapt to that realities. Then also, you can launch a campaign today now, and then tomorrow a riot breaks out in the states that you want to go and launch your campaign. What are you going to do? You have to be able to adapt to the situation. The campaign needs to go out. You need to think of creative ways to launch the campaign without, going outside or being outside where the riot is happening, because you can't really control what is happening. When COVID broke out, I'm sure a lot of brands had their 2020 marketing plan set. Their PR plan for 2020 was set already. Then COVID broke out. What are they supposed to do? They have to adapt, right? Then, of course, people management, in public relations, and even in PR, you see there's relations there. So there's relationship with people there, right? So you need to know people management, vendor, clients, customers, everybody. You need to know how to manage people and relate with people. That's the reality of the job. Then storytelling, you must have very solid storytelling. Look at the video that Nifesi played the other time, which emphasized storytelling. You must be able to tell very creative stories that will catch people's attention, and you must be consistent. You cannot be telling us XYZ on social media. When we go on radio, we'll be hearing another thing. Your communication must be consistent across all channels that you are using. Very, very important. Another key thing is tight deadlines. The deadlines are very unrealistic, right? But that is the reality of the job. They can tell you, we want to launch a national campaign, and you have 2 weeks. And let's believe it, except you don't like your job again, you have to deliver that campaign. Very, very important. So you have to work with tight deadlines. Unrealistic, sometimes you work late and everything, but is the work is what you love to do, so you have to do it. Clients sometimes expect you to do magic, especially when you're working on the agency side. Your clients can tell you, I want this thing big and wow, and I'm like, hey, and they tell you that they have 5 million and you want it big and wow. How? But you have to give them an impression that you can create that magic, or whatever your solution is that you're coming up with is in itself magical, right? Then, of course, news cycles are changing every hour. As I said, today now, they are talking about kidnapping. Next tomorrow, there was this conversation that was going on social media where the week where all the kidnappings were happening in Kwara and all those things, right? One brand launched a campaign and they were green people walking on the streets of Lagos. People were bashing them. You're very insensitive. You're very this, you're very that. These are things that happen in reality, right? And I'm sure that for them to have launched those men on the streets wearing green, somebody sat down and gave them the approval, right? Or somebody demanded that, we must go live with the campaign. So these are things that you need to take into factor. These are the reality of the job, right? Then you need to learn how to think strategically under pressure. I tell you, there's always pressure. There are very good days, but there are days that there's always pressure, and you have to keep your mental faculty intact, and you are thinking strategically at the same time, finding solutions. Problems are arising, you are solving it. Oh, this is happening on TV, you need to fix it. Social media is such a very interesting place. You can mean something and another person will come and change everything that you have planned, and you just have to adapt to it, right? Then tech disruption and advancement is also there. Before you know it, crisis happens. They put a fake video of your client saying something that is not supposed to say, and the video is fake. How do you do it? Deep fakes are out there. What do? You have to prepare for all these things. So tech is disrupting how we are practicing PR, how we are managing crises and everything. So you just have to adapt. Also, you own your tech skills, right? And last but not the least, PR is loads and loads of fun. Everything that I've told you here, if you love the job, you are going to have fun from beginning to the end. I tell you, I love what I do. And no matter how tight the deadlines are, no matter how under pressure I am having so much fun. Just the thought that I sat down, I created a plan, and it's happening everywhere. People are seeing, people are talking about it. It gives you so much joy, so much fulfillment, and you're just having the best time of your life, right? And that's one thing I always tell PR practitioners. It is fun. Love what you do, know what you do, and you're going to have a blast. What are the lessons I wish I knew earlier? One is never start execution without clarity. Everything needs to be clear. How we are going to do it needs to be clear. It needs to be plainly written. Even the Bible says that write it plain so that those who see it can run. Write the vision plainly so that those who see it can run. And that is what it is. Make sure that it is clear. Anybody, so because it's not only you that is a member of the team, right? You're working with influencers, working with journalists, you're working with people within your team. They are creative designers, people that are going to do the video content, everything. They need to be able to see your strategy and be clear. Everybody must be clear that this is what we are trying to achieve. And don't go and start unless everybody is clear. Because somebody can then go and be doing A while the plan is to be doing Z, right? So it's important that everybody on the team has that clarity before we go into execution. I learned this the hard way, right? So me telling you now is from experience. Then journalists are people, media guys are people, influencers are people. Build real relationships. Don't just be transactional. Don't just call them, oh, I have a press release, so come and publish it. Oh, I have this. No, they are people. They are you and I. They are just like you and I, right? So they want to feel like you actually have a good, genuine relationship with them. And you're not just using them because you need something right now, right? Then reporting is storytelling, not data dumping. When you are doing your reports, I talked to you about research, data, and all these things. Don't just come and tell 20 people, 25% of Nigerians consume alcohol, 30% of Nigerians. As much as all those data is very important, right? But what is the story that you are telling with? How does this make sense to the person that you are presenting it to, right? It's very important that you turn it into a story. You narrate it, right? Even when you are reporting, your monitoring and measurements, the way you report and tell it is a storytelling format. There's a journey. Oh, we started from A, we went to B, the influencers did this, he achieved that, then radio picked it, he did this for us. And then the person reading that report can see how the strategy came to life and how we're able to get the results, right? Creativity beats budget. I talked to you about budgets, right? And that's why I will always say that creativity beats budget. No matter how much the budget that they give to you is, if you have a creative mind, you will be able to bring something amazing to life, regardless of budget. You'll be able to think and be very resourceful, find other opportunities and other things that you can do that won't cost you so much money. So creativity would always, always, always beat budget. And then lastly, your network is your lifeline. This is one thing I learned, and I believe Nife and Oye talked about it. You must build your network because that's your lifeline. It is who you know. It is the influencer that you have relationship with that will do free posts for you. It is the nano influencer that you have built that when crisis comes, they'll come and talk in your favor. It's a journalist that you know that when you say, please, oh God, publish my press release, will publish your press release. But if you don't know, you don't have network, nobody knows you, you don't know anybody, you're just living in this bubble, deceiving yourself, and say, I'm a PR practitioner. Who knows you? Nobody. You are going to fail woefully at the job. So it's very, very important. And this is a lesson that I also learned in my career line, because I used to be very introverted and tell myself, let me just do my job, but nobody really needs to know me as long as I'm doing good work. People need to know you. You have to build your network, right? It's very, very important. Social currency, right? Social influence, very, 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 very important. And I will wrap up my presentation by saying, you don't learn PR from slides. You are students, they are teaching you in school, very beautiful, but you need to learn it from doing. You need to learn it from failing. You need to learn it from fixing. You need to learn it from trying again, right? And that has been the summary of my journey in the almost 10 years of working in public relations, right? It is starting from doing. I did it, I failed at it, I learned, I fixed it, and I tried again and again and again and again. And even how long I've been working, I still make mistakes. I still fail, right? I still take wrong decisions, but I learn, I fix it, and I get back on it and I try again. I have a don't give up attitude, and that's what has really kept me in this job. That's what has kept me in the practice of public relations. No matter, you can plan a campaign and think, oh, it's the best campaign ever. Then you launch it and it doesn't fly. People don't like it. People don't even know that you're even doing anything. You have done all and then you have to learn, right? And you fix it and you go back and you try again. So you never, ever give up. I don't know if we have time for an interactive session, but I will just wrap it up here. Thank you so much. I hope you have learned a thing or two.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would say, yeah, I strongly agree with you. We don't learn PR from slides. You learn it from doing, from failing, fixing, and trying again. Definitely. If you start your career, you definitely know that failing is part of the process. While it's not a good feeling, but it's part of the learning process. And yes, you might read all the literatures online. You might take all the courses. If you actually do not implement it by doing, it's actually not you doing public relation, and it's really not effective for your career growth. Again, we've seen businesses that we have consultants that knows the theory, but in practicality, they cannot execute. So you see them writing things, they write very well, but implementation is a problem because they have not actually sat down to do the work. Thank you so much, Damilola. We are really grateful for your expertise, for your time. Yes, we have someone that's raising up their hand to ask a question.
Sorry, Stella. There's one thing I wanted to say before we go into the question. I forgot to mention.
Okay, please go
so
on.
in the practice of doing, right, I and a couple of team members, or a couple of friends that I know, right, we created this initiative that helps young practitioners like you, students like you, get that opportunity to practice, right? And what we do is we have a training mentorship program that where we teach you how to do a document, how to do a PR plan, and then we also mentor you on how to do it. And then if you will find people that really, really stand out in the process, we also create opportunities for them to get internship opportunities in various public relations agencies. So we have partner agencies that we work with. We started this initiative this September, I believe. So the first set of people, some have started their internship slots already, some are starting in January, and we hope to do it again next year. It's called the Pitch Perfect Initiative. You can follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn. We are there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, there's the Pitch Perfect initiative that provides internship for young people. Because one of the questions we ask is, how do I get internship? How do I get internship? Apart from you volunteering, sending cold emails, the Pitch Story initiative is one way you can get internship. Hope is my colleague, so Hope shared it with us. We also shared on our platform for more people to be aware, and it's a really great initiative for young people to get their hands dirty and learn how to actually do the work. Thank you. Miracle, you can go on and ask your question.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Fine.
Good afternoon, Miracle.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so my name is Miracle, and it is a privilege to be among the people listening to this section. In this section, actually, I'm a student of criminology and security study in Open University, though I actually wanted to study international relations, which actually dive me into learning Spanish, how to communicate with Spanish language. But then PR, when I saw it on, I think I saw it on Chican. Yes, I saw it on Chican platform. That's WhatsApp platform, and I was like, oh, let me just give it a try. And ever since I logged into this section, it has been a wonderful section. So the question I actually wanted to ask is, as a criminology and security studies student, though I love politics. I'm always into anything as long as it is politics, youth politics, and the rest. So I don't know. I don't like to write. I don't know how to write. I won't like to. I don't like writing because it is not my thing. Writing is not my thing. So I want to ask, aside from writing, because I know everything you've been saying since morning is writing. For someone that does not know how to write, but I love acting, like doing the work, doing the do, like I don't know. What do you think I can do personally, ma? Thank you, ma.
Okay, Miracle, thank you for your question. Firstly, I want to say that I have a lot of colleagues that didn't study anything relating to mass communication or communication, and they work effectively, right? So yes, your BSc background isn't going to stop you from practicing public relations, as long as you know the NIPR lady that spoke earlier talked to you about what you need to do professionally to get into to be a practitioner, right? So as long as you follow those steps, you are good to go. Now, in terms of your question around, oh, you don't like writing. Now, one thing, let me use myself as an example, right? I'm not a very great design person. If you look at the slides that I presented, I had an NIPR woman background and text on it, right? But I function within a team. So I have a team of other people that they are gifted in designs. So when I do the deck and write all my English, blah, 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 they take that deck and beautify it. That's an example. Now, you are not very good at writing, although as a public relations practitioner, one of your core skills or key skills that you need to develop is writing. And writing is a skill that can be learned. Anything you want to learn it, you can if you put your mind to it, even though you don't like it. I don't like a lot of things, but I had to learn it because it was required for my job. Now, however, if you learn it and you are not very great at it, right, there are other people that will work with you that they love writing and they are very good at writing. So that doesn't mean that you can't practice public relations because you are not a very good writer. There are people that are not very good writers, right? But they have or work with very good writers. Now, the part where you said you like to get things done, beautiful. You can project manage. You have your strategists that have come and told you, oh, this is strategy that we are going about with. You have the content guys that have come up with the content and done everything for you. Oh yeah, Miracle, take it and go and execute. And your job is to get with influencers, get with the media, plan the events, do everything you need to do, get all these things. And I told you earlier, right, that execution is where it is. That's the real thing, because all the strategy and everything. So you are a very strong member of the team, even though all you do is project management, right, or execution. And that, I think, is a very great one to start with. And before you know it, you work with strategists and content writers a lot, that you begin to develop some flair for all those things, and you learn it in bits and pieces. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. The next person, Favor, please go ahead and ask your question.
All right, ma. Good afternoon, ma. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, ma, for that beautiful and wonderful insight. Actually, so I have just two questions. And first and foremost, you've been talking about campaigning, and whilst you were talking about campaigning, I've been thinking campaigning, like all these stuff that you just taught us on, does it follow that? Is that what campaigning is all about? One. And then secondly, you talked about the internship. How do we go about it, ma? I mean, how do we apply, and you know, like how do we apply for the initiative, ma? Because I have big interest in everything you just taught us now. So ma, please, how do I go about it? And also, I'm an undergraduate. Can I volunteer to work for probably brands, like, okay, all these coming up brands, like, can I look out for brands and apply all these things that you've taught us on as probably volunteering and equipping myself in this area of public relations before I graduate as a mass communication student? Is it possible, ma?
Okay, so is that all the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So the first question is about what is the concept of a campaign, right? Okay, So I'm trying to look for a way to just explain it in layman terms. So the entire process of bringing a marketing communications or public relations strategy to life can be termed as a campaign. So there are different types of campaigns, right, for different businesses or different brands. The one I've been working, I've been speaking on the what's it called, Share a Coke With, right, is a campaign by Coca-Cola. And that Share a Coke With campaign encompasses everything that they are doing from in terms of marketing communications around that activity. So the activity is the brand names on the bottle, right? And they make it available for people to buy. Then they do advertising, billboards, radio, influencers, social media. You see the ads on IG, you see it on TikTok, you see everything that they are doing around that Share a Coke With initiative is what you would call the campaign, right? I hope that is clear. Then your second question on how to join the Pitch Perfect initiative to get an internship slot. So as I said, we just finished one edition, right? Our first edition, actually. So the next edition will be sometime next year, and there would be a call for entry. So when you get the call, if you follow us on social media, follow us on LinkedIn, you will see the post for the next call to entry time. Once you get to register, you fill a form to register, we get your details, then we send you a brief that sort of tells you, oh, think about this brand, do this for it. It's guided, actually. So we'll tell you the objectives, the target audience, everything. We'll tell it to you how to go about it. So you come up with very creative ideas, then you present it to a team of judges in the industry. You talk to them about your idea, why it works and whatnot. And then if the judges think that you're a very solid creative person, then we place you with different companies for your internship. I think I see somebody on this call that is one of the beneficiaries from the first edition. So that's how you get to it. So yes, as much as it's open to everybody, only a very selected creative few get eventually placed in agencies. And this is because the agencies are also very particular about standard. So we'll train you, we'll mentor you. And if you don't get placed for internship, you still get assigned a mentor so that they can teach you and train you, and you get better for the next session, and you hopefully get an internship placement after that. Then the third question was around, I'm sorry, now I forgot. Can you remind me what your third question was?
Okay, so my third question was about volunteering to work for
yes.
probably brand as an undergraduate, like
Yes.
implementing all these your campaigning strategies, from the research, from the action, the communication, the execution, like if it's possible to start doing it even as an undergraduate in public relations before you like to equip you and everything.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Please volunteer. Volunteer as much as you can. Apply to any company that you think you want to work with. The worst you're going to hear is no, but you never know if you don't try, right? So you apply to as many companies as you can, and you get there, everything that I've taught you, put it to practice, and I tell you that you will really stand out and shine there. So yes, please, by all means, go ahead. Oyinye has talked to you about how the entry barrier. Nifesi has talked to you about the core skills you need to have talked to you about the practicality of it. Merge all these things that you've learned today together, apply to any company, and go and practice all these things. And definitely, they'll keep you coming until you fully graduate and possibly retain you if you do such a very good job. So yes, please never restrict yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Damilola. We hope we've been able to answer your question. So, Mavis, please ask your question. We've exceeded our time, so we'll just wrap up in the next 3 minutes because we know that Damilola is really busy. Please, Mavis, quickly ask your question so she answers, and we can quickly wrap up for today. Thank you. Go on, Mavis.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mavis. Thank you so much, Mark, for this insightful session. I've been hearing about strategies, PR strategies. What are the different types of PR strategies in public relations? Like, what are the different types of PR strategies? Thank you.
You know, I always try to avoid questions around strategy because, as I said when I was talking to you, if I start to talk to you about strategy, we won't leave here in 3 minutes. So, as I said, right, I'll try to explain this as easily as I can. I won't say that there are types of strategy that already exist that, oh, standard, this is what I don't like to do that. Maybe some people would tell you, oh, there's this strategy that we've always did, that strategy that we've, but I don't like to do that because I feel like it boxes young minds. So what I would tell you about strategy is this. You have done all the research that I've talked about, right? You have the information, you have the key takers from everything, you've analyzed the data, and you already know the problem and the possible solution. Now, how do you get from the problem to the solution? That is what strategy does for you. Let me give you an example. So, let me take one campaign I did that I can talk about right now. Yes. So, a couple of years ago, not too long, maybe 2-3 years ago, right? There was this campaign, there was a brand, right? An alcohol brand that came into Nigeria, and they've been selling, the product is readily available, but nobody knows the brand. However, the product is moving. So that means they have a good product. People are buying it, so it's good, they like it, right? So then the point was, we need this product that people like, we need to create a brand around it so that it stays in their memory, right? And create an engagement or whatever with them. And then we looked at it. The strategy, this problem was clear. A brand, a product available is moving, people like the product, but people cannot associate the product to any brand, or they just know the name. Oh, I want to buy it, I'll go to the market, I'll buy it off the shelf. Now, what we want, the task for us was to drive a PR campaign that creates a brand, a personality for that product. That when people, the reason people would continually buy that product is because the product, the personality we have created for the product aligns with their own personality, and they can see an extension of themselves in that product. And that's what builds equity for that product. So what we did was we thought about it, right? Oh, the brand is from Scotland. In the Scottish, in Scotland, there's a personality called the Islander, right? And the Islander came from that, from Scotland. And the product came from the Scotland area where Islanders thrive. And what is an Islander personality? Oh, they are go-getters. They do anything. They do things that are not normal. They are irreverent to normal, right? So they will go out, and it sort of connects with the Nigerian personality. We are go-getters. We do things the way we want to do it, right? When we set our mind to something, we will achieve it. So we were able to bring that Islander. You know, this is your favorite drink that you love. This is where it comes from. It comes from Scotland, and there's an Islander personality there. And then the strategy was, we want to create a Niger version of the Scottish Islander. So we called it the Niger Islander campaign. And what were we talking about? Just telling you how that go-to spirit, that's never give up spirit in Nigerians, right, is the same spirit that gave birth to that product that you love. And we started communicating it in different ways. We had campaigns, activities, daring activities that we asked people to come and participate in a challenge. The winner was taken to Scotland to experience the Islander Scotland and this. So that our strategy there was connecting the personality to the product. And that was what the strategy was. And I've had different strategies for different campaigns and different. So as I said, you need to understand the problem that you got it from your research, understand how the brand fits, and create the pathway that takes you from the problem through the brand fit to the eventual solution. That's the best way I can explain strategy to you right now.
Thank you, Damilola. I think we have a lot of questions regarding campaign strategy because a lot of people are raising their hand. Please, we are so sorry on time, but let's just take their question. Olu Afunke, please ask your question. And then we have Olu Adeola. Please go on, Funke.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to our speaker. I appreciate your efforts, your time to talk about everything you've been saying. And thank you very much. So my question is PR just for big brands alone? Because I'm not a student. I work in like a storytelling agency. So I've been doing a bit of media and PR and all of that. But I realized that when it comes to PR, it feels as though it's just for the big brands. So is it that it's just for the big brands that can afford it? Because in the example of the budget you mentioned 100 million. A typical SME, even the like the original SME, the WhatsApp CEO vendors. I mean, the SME might not be able to afford, putting 100 million down, or maybe 10 million, 20 million. And by the time you put all these things together, because it has been a headache for me because of where I work, I want to do this, want to do that. But by the time we're like, oh, we don't have the budget, we are just sticking to one channel of marketing, which is, giving us a bit of result, but not enough result. So I just want to ask, I'm curious, is PR just for the big brands alone? Because by the time we reach out to these people, business, all these people, they need money to help to do all of these things. So that's my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Oluwafunke. So
sorry.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes.
Sorry, I just want to ask to this question. Is PR also for just brands, or can a person have an individual have a PR? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand your question. I understand your question. Okay, so my first answer to Funke's question is no, blatantly. PR is not only for big businesses. I do PR for startups, right? I do PR for SMEs, right? So PR, forgive me, yes, I mentioned 100 million, 50 million, but there are campaigns that we do 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, right? Very, very possible. And let me tell you something about PR. Traditionally or globally, PR is supposed to be earned media driven, right? Globally, that is what it is supposed to be. But however, we found that markets differ, economies of markets differ, right? That sort of then influences why PR sometimes becomes monetized. But the standard practice, if you are taught public relations anywhere in the world, is that it is mainly and majorly driven by earned media. Now, that is why in other climes, you will pitch your stories. And that's why the content of your story is very, very important. And I won't even only say in other climes, even in this climb in Nigeria, we get earned media still. The quality of the story is what matters. Now, you have a startup that doesn't have a lot of money. You have built relationships with media, right? And you need to get that person's story out there. What is the quality of the story that you are putting out, that you are writing? That then informs how the journalist is going to see it as important enough for them to report without you being paid for it, right? How are you able to craft and tell that story for that small business that they can be anywhere? Now, also, technology has given us opportunity to amplify without necessarily paying so much for it. You have social media platforms right now that exist that you can create content on social media, promote it with a few nairas, and then it gets reach and engagement for you, right? So it's based on your creativity. You don't need a lot of money to have an effective PR campaign if you are doing the right things and it is targeted at the right people. So you really don't need 100 million to run. I don't even know what PR campaign is 100 million. It's more like a marketing comms campaign, all encompassing that you probably, I don't know who is going to give you 100 million for PR. It has to be such a very crazy idea. But the answer to your question is yes, please. PR exists for startups. I do it. I have clients that come to me with 5 million naira budget and I do the campaign for them and they get the results, right? You also just manage expectations. You don't promise them, oh, you're going to get 500 million views when you have 5 million. So it's realistic, right? And then you're able to achieve it. So please, very, very achievable. Now to Mavi's question, yes, PR can be done for personalities. Now, you need to understand the concept of a brand. Now, when you say a brand, right, is something that has a name, an identity, all the 5 senses, right? Yeah. So an individual can be a brand. I have a name and identity. I think it was Nifesi that referenced Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu brand that she mentioned, that's a person, right? And she talked about how his brand stands out. All your celebrities, they are different brands, right? And they are doing PR for them, right? So yes, please. I do, even the CEOs that we work. So you work for, let's say, Airtel, for example. The CEO of Airtel is a brand. There are people that manage the brand of the CEO of Airtel. So yes, PR definitely. There are even agencies that's all they do, personal PR. That's all they do. They don't do big brands. They just take individuals and do PR for them. So yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Damilola. If I must add to that, that is also called executive branding. So most senior executive, they do that. And there are people that actually, that's their core service, executive branding for C-suites and HNIs. Yes, thank you. And lastly, our last person, Adeola, please ask your question. So we round up. Our speaker has answered and answered and answered.
Okay,
So
ma.
please, thank you so
Good
much.
afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Adeola. I'm a final year student of Williams University, and I must say I've learned a lot through today's session. And I'm somebody that like attends conferences and in order to gain knowledge about these kind of things. But one of the major problem I would say that myself and many other students go through is the availability of like opportunities. A lot of something that majority of the speakers here spoke about was about like internship, volunteer, this and all. Yes. And to be very honest, to find internship placements, especially for people who might not necessarily have as much connections as people that are just entering into the field and all, this might be really, really difficult. But that's just one of the things I wanted to say. But the major question I wanted to ask is that I have volunteered for roles and I have worked with people who don't necessarily understand what PR stands for. Like there are cases where, like what one of the second speaker said about the fact that you must ensure that your client understands that PR is a major management function. But there are some times where you might not even know how to explain it. Okay, because you're the owner of the business, you're the owner of the initiative. How do you pass across this message to whosoever like your client is in a way that they will understand your importance? Because there are times where you might have to make a decision that would clash with the decision that the client wants to make, and you're like, oh, in the long run, this decision I want us to carry out is a decision that would actually that would help us out more than your decision. But I don't know if you get my question, but how do you pass across the message of the fact that PR is actually very, very important to your client if you're somebody that doesn't understand what PR is about? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Adeola. I think I will start by answering how you started this your questioning. You
can you hear me? I'm done with my
opportunities.
question.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me too? I'm speaking.
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. Yes. So I said what I was saying is I'm going to start by answering the first bit of your question where you talked about opportunity. You need to create opportunities for yourself. One, right? And then the second thing I would say is that these opportunities actually exist. I'm on the other side of the table, right? Where we are the ones hiring. I can tell you this for free. A lot of agencies, a lot of businesses are looking for talent. Now, the problem is students, right, and young people are not investing in themselves enough to be worthy of these opportunities that exist. So you find that the very good ones that have the very good talents that are working right now are overworked. And their responsibilities are piling up and piling up and piling up because you young people are not putting in the work. And that is it that I'm going to tell you. If you want to stand out in this industry, you want to get all these opportunities that you are looking for, you can't be below average. You can't even be average. You have to put in the work. And that's why I started with my journey. I stumbled into public relations and I knew that I had to put in the work. Every year, back to back, I work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, I'm attending one course or one training or the other. I took away comfort from myself. And you know what? I told us I have to be the best at what I'm doing. And so I'm going to put in the work. And that's what I would charge you and everybody on this call today. Opportunities exist. Anybody that's telling you there's no opportunities is probably lying to you. But you have to present yourself as worthy of that opportunity, of those opportunities. You go for all these conferences, as you mentioned, Adeola. What are you doing afterwards? when I go for conferences, I take notes, detailed notes. I go back on my social media and I tell people this is what I learned. This is how I'm going to practice it. This opportunity is going to give to me. People are reading it and seeing it and saying, okay, they have their eyes on this girl. They have their eyes on this guy. And when opportunities open up, these are one of the few people that they will remember. So what are you doing with going? When you go to the conference, you just sit down and listen, or you go and talk to people and you have brilliant conversations. You ask brilliant questions. Let them see you and see that, oh, this person stand out. It's just the talent, really, and that's what it is. I'm very passionate about this. That's one of the reasons why we started Pitch Perfect Initiative, right? Because we identified that, yes, there are some people that are very talented that don't have that opportunity. So let's bridge that gap. But there are people that have opportunity exists, but they are not just investing in themselves. So at the end of the day, you are wasting your time. So please invest in yourself and the opportunities would meet you. Now to your second question about volunteering, right? Was about volunteering, correct?
Yes.
Adiola, are you there?
Yes,
Adiola is there.
Yes, your second question was
Yes,
how
I
to
am.
volunteer, right? I want to know if I got the second question correctly.
I got
The second question I said was that if you are working for people who do not have
Who do
adequate
not
knowledge
have,
of what
okay,
PR,
yes. So as I started talking to you, right, every business person has one goal, right? Profit making. Now, if you are, I said this when I started talking, if you are able to connect the dots for them, how your job as a public relations person eventually translates to making profit for the business, you would have their ear. I promise you. But a lot of PR people do this where they tell you, hey, we'll do press release and we'll write blog posts and we'll do this events, bring money, let's do this, and you never tell them how all these activities that they are doing translates to business growth. Because business growth sometimes might not only be profit making, there are other things that sum up growth for a business. So how these things that you are doing translates to growth for their business is what they are most important about. If they are most bothered about, if you are able to do that connection, they would listen to you. Now, this doesn't mean that there are people that will never listen. I have worked with clients that they just don't understand and they don't want to understand. In those cases, there's nothing more you can do. I advise you leave people like that, leave organizations like that, leave institutions like that. If you know you've given your best, you try to explain and everything, it's not working, person's mind is not changing, you move on to where your skill sets are most listed. And I can tell you that even in the industry, NIPR and other PR bodies practitioners are putting in the work to sort of distinguish the job that we do and elevate the job that we do in such a way that it is now appreciated. Look at what Nigerian Women in PR is doing, for example. They are creating a platform opportunity for people to know more about PR, understand the effects and positives and gains and everything of public relations so that more people become aware. So yes, I think it's going to take some time, but we'll get there where, just as medicine, nobody will, if you say you are a surgeon, of course, they know the benefits of a surgeon when it comes to doing surgery. So we'll get there, I promise you, right? And a lot of people are putting in the work.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Damilola. This has really been a powerful session. And me myself, I've learned a lot. And like Damilola said, for example, we have our Experience in Public Relations Conference, whereby it's not PR people that are coming to talk about the importance or the benefits or the value of public relations. It's big businesses, business leaders that have implemented public relations in their businesses and they've saw profitability. Someone talked about personal branding. If you do PR for personal brand, there are global leaders around the world, like the Tony Lumelu that everyone is talking about. Is personal branding is top notch. That is public relations. Like it's well branded and the public sees him in a particular light. That is public relations. So the conference brings in leaders to come and talk about the importance. So if a big business like Coca-Cola or the MTN, they're talking about the value of public relations, a small SME in the room will also want to implement public relations in their business. So yes, like Damilola said, we will get there. We'll get there and we'll get to the point that we do not need to be boo-booing people, trying to convince somebody that public relations is important for your business or for your brand. We'll definitely get there. Thank you so much, and Damilola, for your time. Thank you, everyone that joined us. and still to the end. I'm clapping for you here. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. Damilola, please share your slide with us. We'll share with the students so they can go back in crafting their plan in case they want to apply for Pitch Perfect next year. They have the PRO plan process, so they can actively do it. And they say, I attended the summit, and because of this, I was able to be part and benefited from the internship. Thank you so much. We share the slides. If you have any question about Pitch Perfect, you can share it on the group. We'll share it with Damilola, and you know she's happy to respond. So thank you all very much. If you have any questions, please share on the group. Please fill the survey form so we can serve you better and create a seamless experience for you. Thank you all very much. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Damilola, enjoy the rest of your day. Nife, enjoy the rest of your day. To everyone, Mavis, Adeola, everyone that's on the call. Ife Oluwa, my colleague, thank you so much for being on the call. Ife, maybe you want to say thank you too.
Thank you very much to everyone that joined the National PR Student Summit, and thank you to all of our speakers for such beautiful and insightful sessions.
Thank you. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.